Theodore-grams. Yeah. Every day ought to be a bad day for you. That's right. We used to be so strong. Back then we was right, now we so wrong. She was Beyonce, I could've got my Hove on. And when she hang up on me, I tell her, hold on, quit that shit. I don't use force, today is a bad day. We've been divorced, what I think about stress, I don't really need it. But this is plagiarism, cause my shorty just cheated, and shorty conceded. She out of her mind, I wish she had Louis and the car get declined. She at school with no aid, no HIV. Hope you don't get in the club with that fake ID. Why would you hurt somebody that you called your man for? And I hope you get evicted by your landlord. But she be messing with me, and I'm hoping she lose my number indefinitely. So every day ought to be a bad day for you. Yeah. Every day ought to be a bad day for you.
Teach you to fuck with my mom. Bastards.
I guess you can't remember all the times that I was there. Your emotions on a roller coaster, no fun fair. You were happy on the phone, but hate me when I come there. That phone is cutting down to a drum snare. Yeah, just like that. I hope you go deaf so you can't hear shit. Yeah, I hope you go blind, cause you look me in my face and you laugh when I cry.
You should wonder why your apartment is always so empty. Maybe you should wonder that. Well, I hope you get locked out of that apartment and have to call Jenny. Oh! I hope you get locked out. Cause every day ought to be a bad day for you. Every day ought to be a bad day for you. Way too complex. When we argue, she's taking shit out of context. And I know I could've did more, but I'm never home, I was always on tour. I could be anywhere in the world, had one wish, to be with you until you get her through the tongue kiss. And this is hard for me to say like a tongue twist. My heart don't beat for you, so let the drum hit. And you know I just got promoted, now I be the boss and I hope you get demoted. Happiness is a warm gun, living fully loaded. And shit got worse when I exploded. Boom, I wrote it soon, I hope you brought a cab pay. And I hope you get the attention on a half day. I wish I could use your blouse for an ashtray, cause for you every day should be a bad day. Every day ought to be a bad day for you. Is that fool, you crazy? It's all mine. Every day ought to be a bad day for you. Every day ought to be a bad day for you. Every day ought to be a bad day for you. You got red flags, but I'm colorblind. I ignore the signs, yeah, you know the vibe. And I still get all the butterflies from your diamond eyes when you tell me lies. You're doing cartwheels in my head, releasing my dopamine. You're breaking bad and now I say, what a time just to be alive. Last night you told me things that you can't deny. Just friends hiding underneath your sheets. And your lips are reminiscent. You got red flags, but I'm colorblind. I ignore the signs, yeah, you know the vibe. And I still get all the butterflies from your diamond eyes when you tell me lies. You got red flags, but I'm in denial. Baby, let's see how fast this all black Silverado goes. And how many miles is it gonna take to get away from you? You're breaking on the cabo's heart. You got me drinking at a downtown bar. I'm overthinking, getting too damn drunk. And that's what I get for falling too in love.
Remember that back road, baby. Remember them stars in the sky. Remember that tailgate we were sitting on when you looked me in the eyes. I remember those backwoods, baby. We would roll them up and get high. Said let's stay here and plant roots till you and I die. Guess I'm just learning how to let it go, go. Guess I'm just learning how to live alone, alone. It's hard for me to take it slow, slow, slow. So baby, let's see how fast this all black Silverado goes. And how many miles is it gonna take to get away from you? You're breaking on the camel's heart. You got me drinking at a downtown bar. I'm overthinking getting too damn drunk. And that's what I get for falling too in love. I don't think you can. I'm putting my heart on ice and cold beer. Baby girl, it's no fair. Baby girl, it's no fair. It's all your fault and you know it. This shit is driving me insane. I saw this truck parked in your driveway at your place. Now I'm packing all my things trying to get away. Baby, let's see how fast this all black Silverado goes. And how many miles is it gonna take to get away from you? You're breaking on the camel's heart. You got me drinking at a downtown bar. I'm overthinking getting too damn drunk. And that's what I get for falling too in love.
Yeah, I'm in a Nyack jersey. What are you gonna do about it? Hello, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. This is not a war stream. This is a Michael Proctor stream. Proctorgate has expanded. Somebody call TMZ. This is outrageous. Somebody call NBC. Somebody call the news networks. Listen, we got like 3 hours till the World Cup. I was just trying to watch the World Cup. We're gonna beat Paraguay. Hello, Chat Mom Lynn. Oh, best 4 months ever. But you are amazing. Chat Mom Lynn, you are amazing. So good to see you. Oh, I can't believe that we have a penguin emoji for members. It's great. All right, Proctorgate's exploded. We have 3.5 hours. I just wanted to watch the game, you know. Wanted to watch the USA. They only play once every 4 years. It very rarely happens. It hasn't happened on our home soil since 1994. I was just a wee little washcloth back when the Irish invaded Foxborough, now called Boston Stadium for some reason. Listen to me. We got a lot to talk about. I have an energy drink. I'm mad. You wait till you hear some of this stuff. I thought you think. Listen to me. Karen Reed held back. This is worse than you think. Listen, I'm gonna have to say a few prayers before I go through this one. First, God bless Rosemary Scapiccio, who, you know, thank God for Rosemary. She must be, you know, very religious. She censored the slurs. I'm so grateful. I understand that, you know, Karen and Alan left them uncensored because you needed to for that filing. You needed to show the weight of them to the world the first time. But Rosemary, I think, made the right choice and edited this. I would have had to do it by hand, and it's a PDF, which is very annoying. Listen to me right now. You're going to hear some stuff during this stream. It's not, I can't do anything about it. I can censor the slurs, and I did. But this is a court filing. These are Michael Proctor's words, and there's another cop. I found his Twitter. You don't understand. This was a ridiculous series of events. There's another cop in there. Those names that Proctor was texting with in this motion, if you've already read it, you know what I'm talking about. I'm telling you right now, listen to me. That's a cop. I found the dude very quickly. He follows Helena Rafferty, the former Canton police chief, on Twitter. You don't understand. I was all mad. You don't understand. This thing's expanding. Proctorgate, I told you it was bigger than Watergate. Proctorgate is expanding. I know a lot of you are like, oh God, yes, it's true. Hello, Tiffany Bob. Hello, Frank. Hello, Kurtz. Hello, Clumsy Clairvoyance, and my friend Francine. All right, now listen. I'm gonna breathe, but I told you, I tried to tell you. You know, sometimes I'll be like, well, there's probably gonna be missiles that are gonna launch, and then they launch. We're not talking about that today. I told you this was bad. I told you. I was like Paul Towel Revere, running through the streets of Boston, sounding the alarms for like a year. I was like, these guys are bad. Trust me, they're bad. Now I'm in an Ajax jersey, ready to tell you about it. I knew it was bad. It's worse than anyone thought. Oh, you don't understand. This is horrible. I need to give you a warning. No matter what I do, this content is brutal. But in the public interest, I'm going to read it because you deserve to know what your police officers were talking about. This is disgusting. It's an outrage. It's a travesty. It's a sham. It's a mockery. I demand we do something about this. I'm not exactly sure what. We have to petition the government for the redress of our grievances. Someone called Parliament. Wait a minute. The legislature. Somebody tell the Parliament. Why not? I'm mad. Anyway, that's the best disclaimer I can do. Then I will start telling you about the facts. Let me just tell you, though, you're going to have a visceral reaction to this. It's brutal. It's really bad. I thought what Karen held back. I don't even know how it's possible. She decided to hold back. She ended up showing an extraordinary amount of restraint compared to what Proctor actually said. Now, I know a lot of you know exactly what I'm talking about, but for those who don't know, Karen Reed was charged with the murder of John O'Keefe and acquitted, eventually. The death of John O'Keefe occurred on the night of January 28th into January 29th of 2022. It was a snowy morning in Canton. No one really knows how John died. No one knows. It's an unsolved mystery, truly. Robert Stack would have a field day with this. God rest his soul. My point is, nobody really knows how John O'Keefe died. All right. While the case was going on, the trials, and after it ended, there was this big fight about this trooper who was part of a state police unit detailed to the Norfolk County DA, district attorney. His name's Michael Morrissey. He's about to leave office. This man, all right, was named Michael Proctor. He, strangely, probably shouldn't have, led the investigation of Karen Reed for John's death. He also started some other investigations, like into this journalist named Aidan Turtleboy Carney, which he really shouldn't have done. It was like a personal favor, I think. They got caught up. The people who started that investigation are in a lot of trouble. The trials were the honeypot. Anyway, so Proctor and this unit was run by a guy named Brian Tully. He was the detective lieutenant. They're like embedded detective units within the DA. The state police do a lot of stuff. They do like commercial, like truck driving infraction enforcement. They monitor the highways. They do like state roads. They do, what the hell else do? I used to know a bunch of stuff they do. They do like obscure things. And then they investigate like high level crimes through what's called the Detective Bureau. The Detective Bureau is divided up, and there's units like assigned within each district attorney's office. We're talking about the south of Massachusetts now, like Brookline and to the south, until you get to like, what's the county below that? Like, I don't know, near like Attleboro and the Cape. There's more counties south of it. But the point is, it's like the county south of Boston down to like, I don't know, 20 miles north of the Cape, 30 miles north of the Cape. All right. The unit was Brian Tully, Detective Lieutenant, John Fanning, First Officer, Sergeant Uri Buchanan, and then under them, like Proctor, Jeff King, like all these other guys. All right, Sean Quirk. All right. Now, we're talking not just about the filing. You all watched the stream last week. You can watch it if you haven't seen it. Karen Reed, in the context of a lawsuit against the Canton Police Department and the state police last week, started Proctorgate. Everyone knew Proctorgate was coming because for months, different criminal defendants investigated by Michael Proctor kept saying to judges, Judge, we have, like, this is bad. We got to tell the public. And the judges would be like, no, we can't tell the public yet. And they would put it under protective order. Karen, like a month ago, 2 months ago, got permission from Judge Doolin to put things on the record in her, as Judge Doolin would say, in her civil lawsuit. All right, so Karen goes to Judge Doolin and say, in the criminal case, like it's not really a criminal case. It was more, I forget how she even got standing to get in there. I forget where it might have been on her docket after it was closed, actually, because it had to do, I think, with like property that was taken. It might have been during her like phone search warrant hearing thing. They might have just bootstrapped it in. I don't remember. The point is, Judge Doolin eventually is like, all right, Karen, you can use the stuff from Proctor's phone in your other civil suit. That's where we got Proctorgate from last week, and it's bad. Virulent, racist text messages. You've seen them all. I don't even want to start describing them because I got to do it again today, and it's going to be brutal. There's new ones in this one. Interesting question, Silent Dogs. I'll mull it over. I can't answer that question because I'm a pluralist. So legal systems are different around the world. I'll have to think about it. Proctor, while he may have invested... 1 second. Frame drop. Give me a second. Frame drop. We should be back. We're back. Frame drop. Michael Proctor. Okay. His cell phone messages, we're going to find out in this motion how they came out. All right. It's a lot of messages. Now, there's a bunch of intervening events that have happened between Proctorgate starting and today. The most important ones for you to know are the following. 1, last Friday, Michael Proctor, the day after Karen Suk got fired and Proctorgate started, Michael Proctor put in a last-minute notice to get out of a deposition that was scheduled for Monday of this week. There was a chaotic series of hearings at 8:45 a.m., actually 9 a.m., Monday morning, in front of Judge Gildea in Plymouth Superior Court. Now, this was in the O'Keefe family lawsuit filed against Karen. Okay, as if this weren't complicated enough. Proctor gets out of his deposition, okay, but not really. Like Judge Gildea forces him to sit on Tuesday, okay? Proctor tried everything under the sun. I think no one knows where this man is, frankly, but he's clearly, like, the indicia from Judge Gildea's ruling is that, like, he had some kind of, like, letter, Proctor did, from some kind of practitioner who wasn't qualified, apparently, in Judge Gildea's opinion. And so Proctor, like, who knows where he is, right? Who knows what's wrong with him? But the point is, he tries to get out of this deposition. Judge Gildea is not having it, and is like, no, you're sitting. Eventually, they come to this determination that Proctor can't sit on Monday. Judge Gildea is like, I need more time. So Judge Gildea at 4:15 comes back as another hearing, orders Proctor to sit the next day. Karen's lawyers were only prepared for Monday, Tuesday. They can't do Tuesday, Wednesday. So Proctor's coming back at the end of June for his deposition. It's actually worse for Proctor now. Whoever was saying that they really wanted Proctor to do the deposition earlier this week, I know you did. But let me just say right now, it turned out way better for Karen's side that they waited. That was really smooth. Remember how someone in this stream was like, Alan Jackson doesn't make mistakes. If he did this, if he delayed, it was for a reason. He's smart. I told you he's smart. The whole team is smart. Seligson and Aaron Rosenberg, they're all very smart. Hello, Ritzy Zone. Welcome. Enjoy your towel wrench. All right, so a little bit more background. So this week, right, we get the Proctor delay of the deposition. All right, then, yesterday, we're in court in front of Judge Doolin. Now, I adore Judge Doolin. Let's watch the hearing. I have it ready. We can just watch it. Oh, that's great. Hashtag Amateo. This is great. I forgot we can just watch the hearing. I love Judge Doolin. So, in a completely unrelated matter, which is now going to require a little bit more context, so I'll play the hearing for you. Give me 1 second while I load it up. It's a little warm today where I am, so things are going to go a little slower. Computers don't like the heat. It's starting to get a little cooler, but like if you ever wonder why your electronics work a little worse when it's hot, they don't like the heat. They hate the heat. They like to be cold. Computers are like towels. Well, I'm a towel. They like to be cold, and if they're not cold, they get made. Very made. And it's really hot here today. It's about 85 degrees Fahrenheit at sundown. It's very, very hot. So we got to watch this hearing. Why? Because in a completely unrelated matter in front of Judge Gildea in Norfolk Superior Court, it's the Miles King case. Now listen, for us to really branch into the impacts of this, we need to do this context. Now the Miles King case, okay? The Miles King case involves a man who's currently in federal prison. But a few years ago, Michael Proctor investigated him and he was brought to trial in Norfolk Superior Court. Now, while the dude was out on bail, the DEA and ATF set him up with a bunch of undercover buys where he sold 28 grams of rock cocaine to undercovers multiple times, including as recently as March of 2026. And then he's in federal prison right now on a big RICO case, and that the DOJ is federally charging. Now, the reason you got to understand that is I think it's pretty clear the DOJ realized that Michael Proctor had compromised. Oh, Miss FAFO, that's our great high five sticker. God bless you for that. I love it. Thank you. Good to see you. So I think the DOJ realized Michael Proctor compromised all these cases, all right? So what they did, which is genius, is they opened a parallel investigation into the people they thought were guilty. And then they let all the people that they thought were set up go. And they think in 2 cases they let trials go forward. They knew that people were innocent just so they could get derogatory or like information on the corrupt cops. Now, Miles King, despite being in federal prison, has a state case still open. It's separate, completely separate to the federal case. It was open first. He was on bail, actually. His bail got revoked because he got arrested. He violated his bond conditions because he broke curfew by getting arrested by the ATF and them taking him out of the curfew zone. So anyway, his bail's revoked and he's in federal prison. But he still has this open state case, and he was investigated by Michael Proctor. Now, it's really important to understand that guilty people can go free if investigators do bad things or hide things, or prosecutors hide things. It's like a basic tenet of the legal system. The penalty for the prosecutor not playing fair is that the case gets thrown out. So yesterday, literally 24 hours ago, in front of Judge Doolin, there was a criminal hearing in the Miles King case about unsealing further information that from Proctor's phone in the context of a motion to dismiss in the state court case filed by Miles King's lawyer, Rosemary Scapicchio. Now you're going to hear the hearing, it's only 9 minutes from yesterday, where Michael Proctor's lawyer tries like hell to stop this motion from becoming public. So let's take a listen and then we'll read it, because he failed.
Yes, yes, Ms. Singh.
Okay, and for defense, do we have everyone that we need?
I do not see Attorney Scapicchio.
Okay, and then
We'll jump forward.
good afternoon. This is Kamal versus Miles King, 21 CR 320. Mr. King is not present. I believe Attorney Scapicchio was going to waive his presence. If the parties...
Hi, Anthony. As far as I know, yes, sir. Then we might have a peace deal. I'll keep you up to date. I think we might have a peace deal. Like the first serious indication of a peace deal. It's complicated, but everybody, as far as I know, is okay with it. Everybody's happy. Lebanon's happy. Hezbollah is happy. I don't think Benjamin Netanyahu's happy, but, you know. But everybody's happy. I think we have a peace deal. I mean, you know, we kind of lost, but, you know, there's no more bombs falling, so you can't really complain about that. The goats are safe, you know. So I'm trying to see the silver lining.
Could please identify themselves for the record.
We can jump forward. I'm just going to show you the section of Proctor's counsel arguing yesterday, and then I'll read you the stuff he didn't want to see, because he was arguing about this specific motion being unfounded. So let me find that part of the hearing. Oh, right here. Let's go.
Mr. Proctor, so I don't have any objection, Judge.
Okay. Let me hear from you, Mr. DeGangi.
Thank you, Your Honor. First of all, I'd say that we think it's entirely appropriate in this for the Commonwealth to communicate with the victims in this case. We think it's a matter of necessity. Mr. Proctor has done that himself throughout his entire career as a state trooper. However, we think there's an alternative course of action for the Commonwealth to take here, rather than letting these private text messages and Snapchat messages becoming public. And that is for the Commonwealth to simply relay the information verbally or orally to the victims and the victim's family, and describe for them the nature of what's contained within these text messages. Your Honor may be aware that there was a lawsuit filed last week by Karen Reed down in Plymouth County. It certainly generated an extensive amount of media coverage. That document is a matter of public record.
Bristol County.
Suspect that some of the information contained within Attorney Scapiccio's second motion to dismiss is already out there. So in that sense, I do recognize that, quote unquote, the cat is out of the bag. However, we're talking about the privacy interests of Mr. Proctor. Your Honor knows he spent his entire professional career working on behalf of victims in this Commonwealth, trying to resolve crimes. He's never been convicted of a crime. Unlike many of the people that have appeared before the court on this matter, he's never been indicted. He's never ever been arrested or had his bail revoked. And I'd suggest to Your Honor that he does have a legitimate privacy interest in these Snapchat messages. They're all from his private phone. And I think there's an alternative avenue for the Commonwealth to take here. At the same time, as I indicated in my limited opposition, we recognize and are grateful and assent to the Commonwealth's efforts to keep the USB drive under seal, as well as the Commonwealth's efforts to redact the telephone numbers. But again, I think Mr. Proctor does have legitimate privacy interests. Some of these motions, and I won't say Attorney Scapicchio's motion, but some of the litigation that's gone on surrounding this Mr. Proctor's cell phone is intended to, I'd suggest, necessarily defame him, Your Honor, and perhaps inflame public opinion against him. So that's the basis for my limited opposition, Your Honor. Thank you.
Okay.
Now, let me just tell you, he lost. Okay? I'll show you the ruling. So after Judge Doolin's quick. After hearing and review, parties to submit proposed redactions and the motions allowed to unimpound. Remember, Rosemary Scapicchio wanted to unimpound her own motion, and Proctor objected, so Judge Doolin had to go through it. Pardon me, I burped. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. This is Towel News. You got me for 3 hours. I'm watching the World Cup. It only happens once every 4 years. I'm staying up. It's going to ruin my sleep schedule because I love America, and we're going to win. I'm feeling a win. Listen, 2-1, but it's going to be dramatic. Expect something ridiculous in like the 80th minute because you got to get the country into it. It's got to be absurd. Listen, did you see what the Scottish people did today in Boston? They have turned Boston into the greatest party city in America. The Scottish people are amazing. I know listen, I have known some wonderful Scottish people, but they have made my city, you should see it. They just go, every bar, they just turn it into like a walking party. There was thousands of them in Charlestown. Thousands. They were in the middle of Faneuil Hall. They were in the middle of City Hall Plaza. They took over every bar they could find. We don't have enough bars for the Scottish football fans. You don't understand. How many bars do you think? We have a lot of bars in Boston. They've taken over the bars. And they go there, and then there's so many of them, they have to wait outside. And then they sing songs while they're waiting in line for the bar. It's great. It's great. No more parties in L.A. Silent Dogs, are you secretly Kanye? Hashtag no more parties in LA. Anyway, if you're in Massachusetts, don't miss it. Before we start reading this, just one break. The U.S. World Cup match starts in 3 hours and 15 minutes. Do consider watching it. You can get it through YouTube. Take a look at their options. I think some of the matches are free. Some you have to sign up for Fox One, but do consider it. It's a great service. Second of all, it's 6 p.m. West Coast time in America, 9 p.m. East Coast time. The first match on home soil in the World Cup for the U.S. since '94, last century. Second, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. We're going to read this. But if you're in Boston or near Massachusetts, go and you're around tonight and go outside. It's a beautiful night. Go to one of the watch parties. Don't miss this. We are supposed to be welcoming all the countries of the world. Go out there, have fun, meet the Scottish if you're in Boston. They're great. They're very welcoming. They're very cheerful. And don't, listen, unless you have a ticket, I would not be anywhere within like 40 miles of Foxborough on game days, match days, because they're going to park everywhere. They're going to park in Canton, in Stoughton, in Dedham. They're just going to park and walk. You can't stop them. It's like a pilgrimage. It's like the Hajj. Once they start coming to that stadium, they're not waiting. They're not going to miss the match because of traffic. They're going to park their cars in towns and just walk. They're going to find whatever Route 1, the back roads, 95, 128, they're just going to walk. So Maura Healey was like, please don't walk. I was like, bro, they're not going to miss the match. They're going to get out of their cars and walk. I promise you, they're going to walk. We're not ready for this. We don't really understand football culture. We have matches here with Scotland. We have Erling Haaland playing Mbappe and France. It's going to be epic. France was training literally 1 mile from me down the road. Mbappe was just driving down the road in a bus. It was wild. My point is, I don't know if people understand, like, they don't care. They're not missing that match. If you tell them there's traffic, they're going to get out of the bus and walk. They're not missing the match. It's football. They're going to go to the match. And they're rowdy and they drink a lot. And if you tell them no, they're just going to charge at you. They don't care. And we are, like, we have to show them hospitality. So if they just start pilgrimaging on the roads, you got to just let them walk. You can't, like, start arresting them. We have to, like, just get them there. It's going to be great. Aaron, what a great, happy, ooh, that was great. All right, enough World Cup hype. Definitely 3 hours from now, though, if you are in Boston, you should be out and about tonight if you have the ability. You don't want to miss it. It's like once in a lifetime. Go out there, stay up, go out to an establishment, a fine drinking and eating establishment, if you can get in, and just soak it all in. It's going to be a beautiful night. All right. That was our mental decompression break because this is going to get bad. Now, this is a motion to dismiss. What's a motion to dismiss? So, when you file an argument, you can't just be like, hey, judge, Michael Proctor's racist. You have to argue something. You either have to sue someone or you have to make a motion. This is a motion to dismiss Miles King's state charges because of Michael Proctor. Now, why is this relevant? Do you remember during the drug lab scandal in Massachusetts, Annie Dukem? Those of you who live around here will know the name. 20,000 cases subject to review because of her compromising evidence in drug lab testing in criminal cases, serious ones. 20,000. That's what we're looking at with Michael Proctor potentially. Maybe not that many, but very serious cases all reviewed. The counsel for the CPCS, the public defenders, are already asking for every case to be reviewed. This is the first of one of many examples we're going to see. This is going to get worse. It's going to snowball. Let's do it. Mind you, you're not just looking at any document. You are looking at a document that Proctor fought hard to keep from you. You were not supposed to see this. And we are going to look behind the curtain. Yeah, well, countries aren't real, silent dogs, so, you know, it is what it is. On August 14th, 2025, Miles King filed his supplemental motion to dismiss for egregious governmental misconduct. Now, here's the thing. You got to understand, when you're filing a pretrial motion to dismiss, it's under 3 cases. I love them all. McCarthy, DeBenedetto, and what's the third one? Oh, goodness. Odell. Oh, you got to know about Odell. Okay, so here's what you're doing. Under the operative standard, what you're basically trying to ask for is a review of the indictment. Because think about it, you're not at trial yet. You're trying to get, these are pre-trial motion papers. You're trying to get the state charge thrown out. I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, but I did go to law school. You're trying to get it thrown out on a theory under 3 particular progenies in Massachusetts. Odell, DeBenedetto, or McCarthy. Now, one time, we were getting lectured in class, and it was some guest lecturer. He was very smart, like 30-year counsel, lawyer. And I raised my hand, and I was like, at the end, he gave a great lecture. And I said, sir, I absolutely love Odell, DeBenedetto, and McCarthy motions to dismiss. And I was going to ask a question, but he stopped me and said, that is the first time I've ever heard anyone say that sentence in my life. And I was like, oh, I'll take that as a very high compliment. Anyway, when you make a motion under these cases in their progeny, you got to argue like specific things. Either like the prosecutor compromised the grand jury process, there wasn't probable cause, sufficient probable cause, even though the grand jury found it for any number of reasons. Somebody lied, like a police officer knowingly lied, or, most importantly, there was governmental misconduct. Okay, you gotta argue the law, though. You have to have a case. You can't just say Proctor's a racist. So the argument here is that this is governmental misconduct that, notwithstanding King's guilt or innocence, justifies the material being introduced and thus the case being dismissed. Since August 14 of 2025, the Commonwealth has made 7 additional discovery disclosures, including the October 30th, 2025 first Proctor phone disclosure and the November 20th, 2025 second Proctor phone disclosure. These recent disclosures demonstrate egregious misconduct on the part of the Commonwealth. Proctor's texts and photographs reveal deep-seated and atrocious racial animosity that infect the entire investigation in violation of King's rights under the 6th Amendment and 14th Amendments to the Constitution and Article 12 of the Massachusetts Declaration of Rights, such that dismissal is required. Commonwealth v. Lewin, Commonwealth v. Montenegro, Commonwealth v. Dew, Ellis v. Harrison, Commonwealth v. Badgett. Those all seem like progenies of the cases I referenced before. If you're tuning in, we're going to look at Michael Proctor's text messages, but I had to give a lengthy warning and intro because they're very bad. And I didn't want anyone to just be exposed to them. They are that bad. King incorporates the arguments in his original motion to dismiss, filed May 28, 2025, and his first supplemental motion to dismiss, filed August 14, 2025. Attached. The Proctor materials disclosed on October 30th and November 20th, 2025 do not stand alone. They constitute another layer in the cumulative pattern of egregious government misconduct already pleaded in King's first supplemental motion to dismiss, and they must be evaluated together with the discovery violations, withheld exculpatory evidence, and grand jury irregularities documented there. See Kyles v. Whiteley and Weary v. Kane. I didn't know about those cases. Good to learn. If you've never seen me read a court document, it's quite fascinating. It's very in-depth, but these are new Proctorgate messages, so you're going to want to see them. Here we go. Let us continue. I realize it's also Friday. I don't think people were expecting this. Friday's called Take Out the Trash Day in the news world. You want, like, rough stuff to come out. People are, like, partying on Fridays. They're out. They're, like, relaxing. You drop news on Fridays, that is really bad. That's the general rule in the business. If it's bad, drop it on Friday. Or, like, try to get it dropped on a Friday if you can. On April 14th, 2025. Oh, yeah, I mentioned that. All right. This is the operative part. All right. On April 14th, 2025, King filed defendant supplemental motion for discovery relating to ex-MSP trooper Michael Proctor and his associates and supervisors King specifically requested. And so King was the one who really got this stuff. Quote, and Rosemary Scapiccio, Proctor's personal cell phone from the dates of this indictment to his filing. Motion at 1. On April 24th, 2025, King filed a motion to preserve, so this was last spring, and preserve and produce Proctor's cell phone records, including Proctor's personal phone. That same day, the court, Justice Doolin, ordered the preservation of Trooper Proctor's personal and work phones. Okay, going back to April of 2025. On June 17th, 2025, Judge Doolin allowed King's motion to preserve and produce cell phone records for Proctor's personal cell phone. Then we go over what Judge Doolin ruled. As to the communications, including the content, call durations, times, and numbers, on former Trooper Proctor's personal cell phone from the date of the charged offense to the date of the indictments, the Commonwealth shall promptly produce any other data from Proctor's personal cell phone that constitutes investigative material or is favorable to the defense within the meaning of Mass Rule of Criminal Procedure, Rule 14. Remember, Rule 14 changed in March of 2025. It's much more favorable to the defense now, all right? On July 25th, 2025, so that was last summer, Proctor filed third-party Michael Proctor's motion for clarification of court's memorandum and order dated June 17th, the one we just read, and he filed for a protective order. On August 13th, 2025, this court issued an order clarifying order re-examination of former state police trooper Michael Proctor's cell phone. The court ordered, by August 25th, 2025, Proctor shall provide his personal cell phone to the Commonwealth and disclose the carriers for his personal cell phone to the Commonwealth as required at page 7 of the initial order. Order it 2. The court further ordered that the Commonwealth shall extract, this is how they got it, a full digital copy of all of the data on the cell phone, maintain a copy, shall provide a copy of the extraction to Proctor's counsel, and shall return the cell phone to Proctor. Order it 2. On October 16, 2025, the Commonwealth filed a Notice of Discoverable Information under Mass Rule of Criminal Procedure 14b2 and motion for additional time to complete review of former state police trooper, the state police trooper's cell phone. On October 30th, 2025, the Commonwealth disclosed the first batch of Proctor's personal phone materials to King. This disclosure contains some of the most heinous, racist, and disturbing conversations that counsel has seen in over 30 years of practice as a criminal defense attorney. I repeat, this disclosure contains some of the most heinous, racist, and disturbing conversations that counsel, Rosemary Scapicchio, has seen in over 30 years of practice as a criminal defense attorney. Wow. On November 20th, 2025, the Commonwealth disclosed the second batch of Proctor's personal phone material to King. The disclosure contained both disturbing text messages and... On November 20th, so this is a month later, 2025, the Commonwealth disclosed the second batch of Proctor's personal phone material to King. Oh, wait a minute. King is... Let me read a footnote. Footnote 1. King continues to request that his expert have access to the phone to do more in-depth searches to undelete any deleted messages. Get him, Miles King. Get him. Get him. I missed that. You got to read the footnotes. Oh, Towel, how did you miss that one? Oh, I'm a towel. This is great. Oh, Miles King, go get him. This is great. You don't understand. This is big. Hello, Pick a Handle. It's so good to see you. Oh my word, he's gonna try to undelete the messages. This is big. Oh, I'm a towel. Oh my word, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Just in. Miles King and Rosemary Scapicchio are moving to get court permission to, quote, undelete more of Michael Proctor's messages from his personal cell phone. Proctorgate is only just beginning. I knew it was coming. Quote, said, I gotta spell Scapiccio's name right. Her name's hard to spell. You gotta give editor Towel a little time to do his work. That's what you get when it's a one-man operation. I do the editing, I do the write-ups, I find the information hiding in the footnotes, said Scapicchio in a shocking filing made public for the first time on Friday. The messages from Proctor and other cops are quite simply shocking. Scapicchio said they were, quote, what did she say? I'm going to use some of the most heinous, racist, and disturbing, that she'd seen racist and disturbing conversations that counsel has seen in over 30 years of practice as a criminal defense attorney. I'm reading the document live now. Oh my word. I don't even know what to say about that. That's just disgusting. I'm disgusted. I'm offended. I'm perturbed. Rosemary's a 30-year criminal defense attorney. 30 years. That's less than I've been alive, but it's still a long time. She's seen a lot of stuff. How did the feds not immediately arrest these cops? They must be planning a long-term thing. This has got to be big. And I'm some indicia, ladies and gentlemen, some indicia that this is very big. I've pretty much traced it. I'll talk a little bit. I don't want to go too much into depth, but I got some clues. I finally figured it out. I feel like God made it happen because it was random. You know, sometimes you're just like living and you get a thing, a document, or just a piece of information. And you're like, bro, no way. I knew it. Because there was this pattern of buying people specific things. Like, people would start getting a specific thing in the orbit of this case. And I knew it was odd, you know. I was like, bro, no. No. What the hell is it with Naples, Florida, bro? Huh? What's the deal with Naples? What the hell is going on down there? Seriously. This is weird. And I cover weird stuff. There's something really weird about this. Not just Proctor. He was the errand boy. We need the money men. I don't know who the hell they are, but it's bad. And it has something to do with Florida and private intel and some kind of network of brothels and like madams and like prostitutes and human trafficking and underage like abuse. It's disgusting. I don't know why they thought this was going to be okay. Did they think they were going to hide forever? They must have some powerful friends. Like, very powerful. Epstein-level powerful. Khashoggi, etc. It's bad. It's very bad. And remember, Canton is right on a major drug trafficking corridor. And John O'Keefe took that video of the guy dealing drugs outside his house, like getting a run from Florida. That's where you get, like, prescription, like, large-scale drops. That's a drug trafficking corridor. And who better than to run brothels and run drugs than cops? This is going to be bigger than Black Mass, mark my words. It's going to be bigger than Watergate. It is a segment of the Epstein files, but only part of it. It's going to be one of the biggest stories in American history, mark my words. It will go on for 10 years. Now do you see how scary it was for Karen? And she lived. And we haven't heard Aiden's full story either. I can't wait to hear his full story. He figured this out first in September of 2022. All right, let's continue. It's going to get bad. All right, here we go. All right. This disclosure, the second disclosure, contained both disturbing text messages and racist photographs. So yeah, I need to warn you, he sent some really racist photographs, okay? I'm going to show you them because the public interest, he was a public servant who had arrest power. And he was talking to other cops about suspects. So I need to show them, but I need you to understand that they're disgusting. I'm showing them to condemn them. And there's only 3 in this filing, but I just want to be clear. It's disgusting what they were. They were cops. These are not private citizens. They were cops, sworn to uphold and protect the Constitution. Not the Constitution with black people counted as 3/5 of a person either. The current Constitution. The one that, outlaws slavery, gives due process, equal rights, vote, all those good things. That counts black people as a full person for the purposes of apportionment. Trust me, I checked. That line's crossed out in the Constitution, the 3/5 line. I checked. Hey, you know what the only exception to the 13th Amendment, the prohibition on slavery, is? Wouldn't you know it? If you get convicted of a crime. And wow, wouldn't you know it? People who apparently really like bringing back slavery really wanted to be cops. I wonder if we need to edit the 13th Amendment. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to put an exception. Slavery is not allowed, period. The whole, second clause was not a great idea. We probably should revisit that whole, slavery's allowed if you get convicted of a crime. Was that really the best life decision? It was kind of a bit of a dog whistle, to all the racists. They're about to talk, by the way, about wearing Klan hoods and going to the Arboretum. First of all, who thinks about a nice place for trees and then is like, no, we gotta wear a Klan hood and go burn some crosses. Literally, Rage Against the Machine, I feel like they probably feel like the most vindicated people in the world right now. They gotta come to do you know what, somebody call Rage and be like, bruh, you gotta come to the Hat Shell and do a free concert Green Day style and call it Proctorgate Fest. And just play that line like some of those who burn crosses are the same that work forces over and over and just put all his text messages on the screen. Can we get them to do this? I feel like, you know what? This is what will bring back American culture. We need Rage Against the Machine to play a free concert on the Hat Shell where they play songs that are very anti-establishment and they vindicate themselves by playing Michael Proctor's text messages on the back of the screen. Now listen, I don't know how the state police are going to feel about doing security for this event, but you know what? That's what comes with swearing an oath to the Constitution. Sometimes you got to go work security for a concert where Michael Proctor's text messages about being racist are being flashed on the screen while Rage Against the Machine tells people that some of those that work forces are the same that burn crosses. So, you know, hashtag bring Rage Against the Machine to the Hat Shell for a free concert and let's just see what happens. Do it during the World Cup. Screw it. Who cares? What really matters anymore? We're still gonna wake up tomorrow. Come on. We've been through worse. Screw it. Who cares? Alright, this is a good plan. I should be put in charge of this plan. Let me get up there and talk to 100,000 people on the Hat Shell and introduce Rage Against the Machine. That'll be great. I can't see any negative implications from that. The country will be better off for it. Travis is all about it. I'm about it too, Travis. Alright, so I think that's an apropos intro to what I'm about to read. You need to understand when I read these messages, I'm going to get mad. It's worse than before. I had to compose myself before I could even start. It took me 50 minutes to get to the messages. Excellent job, said it anyways. And Aaron Gobra, hashtag Grant's plan. Mishigama, thank you. He says, Mishigama says, good plan, Grant's in charge. Excellent. And Tiffany Bob posts emojis of Kofi, which I imagine is an endorsement of my plan to bring Rage Against the Machine to the Hat Shell. You know, what's Mayor Wu going to say? How's she going to oppose it? I'll be like, I thought you were one of them commies. You love these people. She's the one who let the DA charge a damn cop that worked for her. What good is the mayor if she's going to let the DA charge a cop who tries to save people from a felon running cops over? Seriously. That's a Nicholas O'Malley case. Massachusetts is like living in a Kafka novel with a little bit of Orwell, a little bit of like Eyes Wide Shut. It's like the center of power, but it's also really weird, and everybody's really fake. Like, there's some really good, like, down, like, salt of the earth people here, don't get me wrong. But the power structure, bro, like, some of them are cool, but do you know what it's like to be around, like, power in Massachusetts? Dude, they like to, like, go to the back bay, and they go to lunch in these clubs, okay? I've been to one. It's weird as hell. Alright, JFK couldn't even go, but Tao got in. I don't know how it works. Maybe they're more progressive nowadays. Anyway, so you walk into this club, and then you talk to the nice man at the front. You gotta have a suit jacket on. And then the nice man, and then the nice woman, and then the other nice man. I think they're butlers or something. I don't know. They're all in, like, top hats and black jackets. And then they walk you back to the tea room. Now, listen to me. When you sit down for this tea, there's like 40 forks. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but there's like 7 forks, 4 spoons. I know a little bit about eating, like, formally. Bro, I don't know what the hell to do with 6 forks. Which one's for the salad? Which one's, like, I don't understand. It's too many forks. And then you gotta, like, turn the damn fork when you want to, like, signal the freaking waiter, or they look at you like you have 6 heads. You gotta know every single piece of etiquette. So anyway, that's what it's like living here. It's weird, and that's who protects these people. And that's what I have to say. Alright, let's go. Anyway, I know a lot of politicians. You know what? Let me just say one thing. I want to give a shout out. The person knows who they are. There was a person, or perhaps an amalgamation of people that I'll call a person, who 2.5 years ago, do you want to know? Actually, you know how people keep asking, Grant, what caused you to realize that Karen was being framed, that Aiden was being framed. What, like, put it together for you? You want to really know? I'll tell you. I'll give you some inside baseball. All right. So there was this discussion that occurred, and I'll give you an amalgamation of it in a quote. It's not Michael Morrissey. It's the guys around him. Dude, greatest tip I've ever gotten in my career. You don't understand. Like, I was heavily propagandized when I was told this. There are only there's a very limited scope of people that could have told me that at the time, and I wouldn't have had it go in one ear and out the other. They would have had to be completely removed from the whole case. They would have had to know nothing about it. They would have had to be in a very high level position of national power or something akin to that. And they would have had to say to me, Grant, on a personal level, I need you to know it's not Michael Morrissey, it's the guys around him. I didn't know it at the time, but it literally changed my life. It allowed me, every time something in this case would come up where I just needed to break through the barrier to put the next piece together, that was the key that did it. I just kept replaying that line. It's not Michael Morrissey, it's the guys around him. And that helped me put it all together. So, yeah, just so you know, there was a cover-up in this state. Very, very intense. It went very high. Because there's no way I would have got that information from someone who's way above that unless people here were talking about it. So anyway, I don't know what to tell you. The people that need to know, not only did they know, I think they tipped me off. I need to be very direct with you. I think some people wanted these guys to fall, and they felt that I was going to have to be the vehicle eventually. I'm not talking about anyone related to this case. This was years ago. They didn't tell, so it's so weird. I'll just give you a little before we do this, just so you understand how I figured this all out and went from one side of the case to the other. I was very authentic in my beliefs the whole time. I just was being propagandized, and the way that the people would do it, if you got too close to this case and you were pro-prosecution, they would put people around you and in your life, and they would just make sure you only heard the prosecution's narrative, so you'd tune out everything else. All right? I don't think without that tip off I would have been able to put this together, because I never would have broke free of the propaganda. This gets really close. There's no reason Michael Proctor's former uncle-in-law or current uncle-in-law should have been in my home on Friday night seeing my mother. You know what I'm saying? But as soon as the spell broke, and it really, it was hard, it broke my heart, but the spell did break, because there were a few experiences that I had. I do journalism a number of different ways, but if I can live it, I'll embed myself and just live it authentically. I'm not trying to get information, I'm just trying to live it, because I don't like studying things. I'd rather live it. I can do it with documents, but I'd rather live it. I need to vibe check them. Gotta vibe check the bastards, you know. So anyway, I vibe checked a few of them. And alright, so I can't talk about a lot of stuff yet, but there's a few things I found out. I would just see things, and they all started to happen 2024, 2025. And then soon it all started to make sense, alright? When you spend enough time in the orbit of those prosecution folks, you figure it out. It's not that hard. It's scary, and it's vicious. I don't like how vicious it is. I don't like it at all. That's why I told the government about it. But eventually I was able to put it together, because I just kept my eyes on the prize. And I just kept thinking, it's not Michael Morrissey, it's the guys around him. And that helped me put it all together. They were running it in an inverted hierarchy. He was the face, but he was a titular or nominal leader. People could have figured out that it was the state police telling the prosecutors what to do. And the prosecutors went along with it. A lot of them, not all of them. I have my theories about who cooperated with the feds. Anyway, alright, we're going to do it. Yeah, they were worried about me. I think they knew if I applied my skills, I was going to figure it out. So they got really close to me. A lot of love bombing, a lot of stuff I didn't like. But I also put their network together. But yeah, just from a personal perspective before I read this, I really don't think that this was Michael Proctor in a vacuum. I think this is why I call it Proctorgate. I'm not trying to insult the dude, and I'm not trying to degrade Watergate, but it is like that. It's a massive octopus. It's kind of like Northern Steel or Standard Oil. It's like a big trust. That's the best way to understand what these guys were doing. They're not the mafia. It's kind of like that, but it's more corporate. It's more paramilitary. The mafia is paramilitary. That's a redundant term, but it's more brutal, if you can imagine. It's kind of like the intelligence community, but without guardrails. Also an oxymoron. But that's basically what happened. They had this paramilitary structure that was operating without independent checks and balances, and it created something very bad. And it was very entrenched. And it, for some reason, which I think traces back to Stoughton and the Police Explorers program and Learning for Life, it was all centered on the Norfolk DA's office. There were town cops that were involved, and especially the Stoughton former deputy chief, in my opinion, Robert Devine. But it went everywhere. And I know of at least, I think, 3 of the brothels. And what I think they would do, I think there was this group of cops, the state and local cops, that were running drugs, maybe still are, probably are not doing it anymore because the block is hot, to put it lightly. They were running drugs up the 95 corridor. And so it's probably like a chain operation. It's probably multiple states. If I had to guess, every state on the eastern seaboard, because you can't be driving up 95. Dude, they're going to pull you over. If you have a out-of-state plate going up 95, they're going to pull you over. That's a hot route. So they had to have people up and down the eastern seaboard, which means they had I bet I could find their people just by tracing 95 north to south. They had cops, like state cops. They had to think about it. You need state cops because there's state roads. You need local cops where you're on local roads. It's a protected shipment. So anyway, I think they were running drugs. I think John O'Keefe stumbled onto it. I think they also were running brothels. I think John O'Keefe stumbled onto that. How do I know? I have evidence of him talking about it with Higgins. I think Johnny's question was who... Sorry, they called him Johnny in the court filings. It's hard to get off that. I think John O'Keefe's question was who was doing it. I think that got him killed. The only way to not get killed in doing that work is either to have a lot of friends in government, and I don't mean in the police, I mean in government, or to be very public, or a combination of the two. Like, you have to have people in government who, if something happened to you, have the power to rain hell down on them. And if you have a lot of them, you can do this work. I just got very lucky. I happened to do work adjacent to government before. So there's a lot of very powerful people who keep an eye on me very closely. That's why I can do this. I think without that, I probably wouldn't. I think it would be too much of a risk. So, you don't want the wrong person to ask questions. That's how we got into this mess to begin with. They gotta just pick a few low-hanging guys and have them fall on their sword, and that's what they'll do. It's the same story every time. These things have a circle. Hello, Greer's Garden. Yeah, you're turning into a good one tonight. Just Shorty P, that's a great question. I don't think it's what anyone has on Morrissey. I think they were all in it together. You got to look at Quincy. You start looking into Quincy, you're going to find some stuff. And you look hard enough, you're going to find it ties back to that MSP unit that worked for Morrissey. And you're going to find it ties to the people who donate to Morrissey. But do you really want me to say those names? Because the feds already know. Listen. What the hell was Jeffrey Epstein doing banking with State Street in Quincy? And then what the hell was State Street doing in 2014, changing the name of the holding company that was processing Jeffrey Epstein's transactions to NJAA Wealth Management, 1200 Old North Colony Drive, Quincy? That's Michael Morrissey's heartland. What the hell's up with that marina up there? There's a lot of questions. And the questions lead to one single solitary explanation. These cases they didn't have just corrupt cops. They had errand boys, okay? An organization had people out there that they let run amok in our state and local police, and then when they needed a favor, these guys were the errand boys. My proof of this: Michael Proctor wasn't hired by the Boston Police Department in 2014 because they screened his background. He was hired by the state police. You know who does background checks for the state police when you try to get hired? The Detectives Bureau. Ipso facto, in my opinion. This explains why Michael Proctor was hired. Hey, Mr. Proctor, we got one of those cases. You know, for one of our guys. Pin it on the girl, will you? You know what the perfect crime is? It's not a crime that you get away with unsolved. It's a crime that someone else goes down for unjustly. Wrapped up in a neat little bow. Where these people made a mistake was they took the bait. Aiden's brilliant, isn't he? They didn't know what kayfabe was. They took the bait so hard, and him and Karen got him. It's over now, though. I can tell it's over. Karen and Aiden won. They're better than, well, they don't have ballistic missiles, but they're better than Edon. If Edon only knew, listen, you got to understand, Edon's better diplomatically, obviously internationally, but I'm telling you, we got two players right there in Karen and Aiden. Very smart. Do you understand they lived? Have all the friends you want. They lived. Karen thought they were going to Sandra Birchmore her. She used the verb in the Rotten Mango interview between February and June of 2022. Because John knew. And Karen knew. I think it's very likely John said to Karen, listen, alright, first of all, let me stop before I say this. Hypothetically, if you're undercover, like John's unit at the BPD was known for doing undercover work around the state. Read about it. If you're undercover, you have to tell your significant other. Not always, but like, who do you think they call if you get shot in the line of duty while you're undercover? They call your wife or your spouse or your partner, and they say, home. Hold on, frame drop. We're back. If you're deep undercover, you gotta have a contact. Phil, that's I didn't know Gorilla Monsoon's name was kayfabe. Yeah, Andre came up with that term for sure. Gorilla loved Andre. Loved Gorilla and Bobby Heenan. I've watched every episode of that Saturday Night Show. Oh, where was I though? Oh, I got distracted. Hold on, I can bring myself back to where I was. This was quite important. Hold on. Nobody did anything wrong. I just gotta bring myself back so I can remind myself what I was talking about. 1 second. This was quite important. Hold on. No, but that term for sure. Read about it. If you're undercover, you have to. So this is important. If you're undercover, your partner's your contact, your life partner. You have like a chain of command. You have like people who monitor you. But you have to tell your partner. You do. You really do. It's not fair to them. And they need to be your, like, contact point. So, anyway, I think John told Karen. Because I don't believe that Karen, based on how she talks and files documents and what she says and what she cares about, I don't believe she was involved in any of this. Therefore, the only explanation of the cell phone video, the stuff with Higgins, the weird couples. There's a couple that John and Karen were hanging out with as late as January 15th, 2022, right before John died, who they had some serious allegations of child predation alleged against them on the court record. Why would John, in his line of work, he worked in the SA Offenders Registration Unit, ever associate himself with those people? He wasn't. I think he was watching them, and I think he told Karen. All right? So therefore, it's like this network. It seems to be an eyes wide shut thing, because they're not all powerful people, bro. A lot of them just live in moderately wealthy neighborhoods. They look like doctors, contractors, defense contractors, lawyers, judges, cops. They look very normal, but they're not. They have these secret lives, and they all use, I think they know who each other are. They're they help their guys and girls. But they also they control the girls in the brothels. And that's the other thing. John was texting Higgins about prostitutes and overpaying for drinks at bars. And these bars are where the girls would work. So I think you would go to the bar and order a girl from the bar and go into the back. I think somebody killed John because he figured it out. Do you understand? Do you understand how serious this is? He wasn't murdered. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a flare-up. It wasn't a love triangle. I think he was killed because of what he figured out, and all the evidence points to this. Human trafficking and drug trafficking. It's the scariest possible, realization. And thus, Proctor, with all this derogatory information, was being blackmailed. They were letting him do this stuff, letting him be a neo-Nazi. But he had to do the dirty work when they called. That's my opinion. Hello, Alvaro. So, folks, this is what I believe has happened. Now, I have an idea of where this all was going down. Somewhere on Route 38, near some brewery or something that started with a T. That's where the drops were, from what I understand. The restaurants, 3 of them, one was in Stoughton, one was in Dedham, near Norwood, and one was in Boston. I only know of 3, but there were probably more. Some of the girls became cops. Some of the girls what they would do is they'd move the girls around. They'd have apartments for them, and then they would move them around, and they controlled everything about their lives. It was like an open air prison, and I think they would pass them down the chain. So they would start in the brothels, and then if they got pregnant, they would go in. If the guy would support them, they would be allowed to transition out of the life. But if he wouldn't, they would go to the street pimps. And that part disgusts me. And a lot of these people were allowed to commit crimes under the auspices of being informants. So you had criminals in the cops. All right? You had criminals who were actual criminals that were being used to do crimes by cops because they were informants. The Globe's covered this. It's bad. It's really bad. People don't understand. This is worse than Watergate. When the full scope of this story comes out, it's going to be really bad. They let people do terrible things to other humans to protect this network. And what you're seeing is just the tip of the iceberg. This is one guy, one foot soldier. This thing is massive. And they're all fleeing. They can't stay around because everybody's being watched. So they can't stay around. This is a small state. They got eyes on everybody all the time. Everybody. Eyes in the sky, too. Dude, you should see these drones. No comment on the drones. But anyway, they got eyes everywhere all the time. They are watching you all the time. all of us, and they especially are watching the people in the orbit of this. You think they need flock cameras? I'm not talking about any of you in the chat. I laugh so hard when people are like, flock cameras are bad. Bro, they don't need the flock cameras. They have drones constantly in the sky. They know where you are all the time, every minute of every day. They just don't use it because it's very, very sensitive that they do this. It's for national security. Dude, they can catch you based on a Face ID anywhere in the United States at any time. 100% coverage from the sky, active real-time monitoring of every person everywhere. So what do you gotta do? Seriously, what are they gonna do? They gotta just get out of. They gotta run. They're gonna run. They're already leaving in droves. They're cornered. And the question, so let me just wrap this up before we read the messages. What I know to happen, based on my study of the records related to this kind of stuff, is they will do everything possible to stop it from coming out. They'll like run the gambit. Because burning this kind of op is really bad. It has you're already seeing the consequences. Defendants get released. The system collapses. One of the judges, Judge Krupp, is in the Epstein files. That's a crazy situation. My point is, like, the whole system burns down. You can't, rhetorically, you cannot. And so it's a very bad situation. What I know them to do, them being the intelligence community, I don't know anything about this, I just read some records. What they tend to do is burn the lowest guys on the totem pole. They make them fall on their sword, and then they, like, it's called being a patsy. You probably heard that. You wonder why Lee Harvey Oswald used that phrase, because his code name was Alex Heidel, and he was actually in the CIA. Shocking, right? Probably the DIA, but he was sheep-dipped. Anyway, long story. It goes back to El Toro and the B-2 in like 58. Fascinating history, though. Anyway, it's called being a patsy, and they're picking their patsies right now. Dude, you don't want to end up as a patsy. And they got to pick patsies that give them what's called plausible deniability. So you got to pick a patsy who falls on the sword or goes away. And then you tie it up in a neat little bow, and you just pray people don't ask any more questions. Unfortunately, this is 2026, not 1964, 63. And I'm telling you right now, it's not going to take till 1975 to have a church committee hearing. That's where the House Permanent Select Committee on Intelligence came from, by the way. It's going to happen right away. Because they got to pick, what are they going to do? They're not going to burn the people that were at Epstein's level. I'm sorry. Those guys are going to run to like Argentina or their islands. Why do you think they were building the islands, bro? There's no aliens coming. There's no aliens coming to hurt us. They're afraid of us. They're going to run, and they're going to go far away, and then, like, the fallout is going to be weird. We're going to get to rebuild society a little bit. We got to, like, elect good people while we do this. But they're going to run, because it's going to be so bad. Remember, this is one cell in one county in one state. Do you know how many Michael Proctors there are out there? How many Tullys? How many Fannings? How many, oh, God forbid, Sandra Birchmores? How many Karen Reeds, how many Turtle Boys that you don't hear about? Alright? How many Robert Devines? This was one cell in one county in one state. And all these guys, most of them are guys that were running this, are still out there. They're like paramilitary splinter cells. Do you know what happens when paramilitary splinter cells get the head cut off the snake? You get a power vacuum. Alright, but this is unlike traditional organized crime, because they're literally being paid by the taxpayers, and they have guns and badges. They run. They get the hell out of Dodge, because there's no golden parachute. They're going to pick 3 or 4 of them, maybe 5, maybe 10, and they're going to make them get up there, just like Frank Sturgis and E. Howard Hunt and the others during Watergate, and they are gonna make them bare their souls. They're gonna put them up. I'm telling you, they're gonna do this. They're gonna put them up there, and they're gonna say, you take responsibility for all of this. and you say you did it in a way that was isolated to you, and you say, yeah, you know, maybe you got some pressure because you were doing bad, evil things, but like on the whole, this was a like isolated unit, and you become the face of Jeffrey Epstein's like cartel. You realize that could actually happen. Do you know what that? Do you understand what will happen if that's what they choose to do? And it's pretty. You got to understand. The Congress needs an off ramp. Mr. President needs an off ramp. These guys gave it to him. All he has to do, all the powers that be have to do, is have one meeting, and just sell to the public that this was Epstein's like group. Yeah, it was bad, guys. It was terrible. Listen, Epstein was his point man was Michael Morrissey. You're not gonna believe it. The man, it was all Michael Morrissey. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we're not gonna believe it. We're gonna know, but like the public can buy it. Like, yeah, it was one rogue group of state and local cops in, for whatever reason, Norfolk County, Massachusetts. That was it. Oh yeah, it was that. You know, that's all it was. Epstein just really, you know, liked Norfolk County. He loved vacationing in Stoughton. Manchester, New Hampshire is really idyllic this time of year. Have you ever been? Kelly, welcome. So everybody's a mod, but no one has any power. So we're all only mods in name only. I turn the mod log on, and nobody really does anything. Like, Nightbot is our only mod. There are some chat moms. You may see them popping around, but on the whole, everybody's equal. So yes, you can have a wrench. Alright, let me wrap it up a little more. So my prediction is they'll pick 5 to 10 of them, and I don't think they'll actually sell it as the Epstein thing, but they gotta address this. They gotta deal with it. They can package it all up in a neat little bow. Yes, it is only one of the multiple examples of what he was doing, but do you really expect them to take them all down? No, they gotta send a message. Pick one. It's bad. Make the others realize that they're next and hope it stops. Prostitution's never going to stop unless people out there stop paying for sex. All right? It enables human trafficking. It is not harmless. It's very dangerous. But anyway, it fuels the market. And we got to like change how we regulate narcotics, because making them illegal only fuels this. Because these cops can just have a monopoly. They can have turf. Laws only apply to civilians. On the whole. Yeah, Judge Krupp is in the Epstein files. I'll show you the post on that in a second. But you must understand that this is bigger than any one of these people. They were the foot soldiers. We gotta have a serious reckoning. We gotta all think about how this happened, how these people got into these positions, and who was asking them to do things. Michael Proctor is the symptom. We need the disease. We absolutely need to figure out what you're about to read, by the way, I'm gonna read it, is an example of how you can blackmail someone. All right? If you know they're very evil, and just let them do evil things, and then when the moment comes you need a favor, and remind them that you know what they've been up to, they're your guide. That's one form of blackmail. Another is a honeypot, where you trick them into a sexual situation and then blackmail them. A third is a control drama, like manipulating their emotional state by spamming them with fake information or fake accounts online until they react. Okay, 3 tactics. Every single one of them was used in this case. Oh, God bless you, Mary WH3YS. Thank you so much for your kind support of Towel Channel. You're wonderful. Let me just say, you're all very kind. Thank you for being with me. My name's Grant Smith Ellis. We got 2 more hours before the World Cup. So this is my World Cup preview. You know, YouTube wants us, well, they put out this like awesome series of like instructions for how we can, you know, promote the World Cup, because YouTube is broadcasting it. you got to get, like, some of the games are available, some are not. It depends on what package you have. Check it out, though. It's worth it. You can watch the World Cup games through YouTube. I think you need Fox One. Check it out. It's worth it. But anyway, my point is, so the World Cup's in 2 hours. You got me for 2 hours and 20 minutes. This is our pregame, all right? God bless you, Mary. Thank you so much for your support. But let me go into these messages. But let me explain. I think you now have sufficient foundation to understand what this is. You're not looking at virulent, racist, bigoted messages in a silo. You're looking at how you control a foot soldier. By knowing this, and then when you need them, calling them. That's my opinion. Now, the knock-on effect for our justice system is that the messages you are about to hear involved cops in Massachusetts talking about people that they were encountering while wearing uniform after having taken an oath to this Constitution that I love so much. I'm so made. Hi, Nanya. You're a towel. Hello, Standing Stones. Hello, Helen Keller's Diary. You are so wonderful and smart. It was so nice to see you the other day. You had some great questions on Ray's show. All right. Let's do it. Then we'll talk about Judge Krupp at the end. Because that is really, I think, the Epstein files were what put it all together. So the way I figured this all out, I now thought, I'm a little calmer now. This was a wild 1 hour. It started with the tip about someone saying it's not Michael Morrissey, it's the guys around him. Then it was the Mystery Man video, the Canton PD Sallyport. Then it was the Epstein files. Those three things were turning points in this for me. Blew my freaking mind. I couldn't believe it. I knew something was wrong. I could never imagine in a million years it was that. Standing Stones, it's so good to see you. You are a fabulous towel. I agree, Nanya. So is Standing Stones. Kelly, Steffi, it's good to see you. You've been doing some great write-ups. Always enjoy your write-ups. You've been doing a good job with those documents. Kirks, it's so good to see you. Greer's Garden. What happened in the Sallyport? So, at about 5:30, I'll show you the video after this. At about 5:38 p.m., there's a Mr. Maine that just shows up on the Sallyport video. There's a blur box around him. The video's heavily edited at that point, and that's right before taillight was first found at 34 Fairview Road. This Mr. Maine, next to Michael Proctor and Karen Reed's SUV in the Canton PD Sallyport, within minutes, the broken taillight pieces are found by the police at 34 Fairview, within minutes of 5:38 p.m. on January 29th, 2022. And Proctor's in that video. I think he was the guy they called. I think he was one of the hitters. You got to understand what a hitter is. A hitter is not just a guy you call who's going to do an op, like going to go like actually like take someone out like Farwell. God rest Sandra Birchmore's soul and her unborn 8 to 10 week old baby boy. A hitter is a dude you call when you need dirty work done. It's called like wet work formally, but it's dirty work. Oh, Standing Stones, God bless you. Standing Stones says, thank you for all you do, Grant, from the Mechanic Towel. Oh, God bless you and your wonderful artistic skills. Standing Stones is a fabulous artist. God bless you, Standing Stones. My dear friend, you are wonderful and a truly gifted artiste. I have your painting in my gallery. Standing Stones is wonderful. Thank you all for that mental decompression break. Can you tell I really don't want to do this? I mean, I'm happy to tell you about the context. I'm not happy about what I have to do next. I know. You're all ready for it. All right. Let me do a poll as we do this. How offended are you by the new Proctorgate messages? You might want to wait till you hear them. I am incredulous. I am furious. What is a Michael Proctor? Michael Proctor is not a towel. All right? Those are your options. What is a Michael Proctor? That's so fabulous. God bless you all. Here we go. I know it's tough, Towel Mom Bunny. Kofi's with me in spirit, though. I can do this. Hi, Kofi. The man on the TV's talking to you again. Kofi's a dog. Kofi, have you been behaving? How are you doing, Kofi? Kofi is indeed a dog. Sometimes I just talk to him. I like to think he knows me. We have a spiritual connection. All right, here we go. The disclosed text and photographs, attachment B. This one's redacted. Now, listen, I'm gonna censor out the words, but you need to know this is bad. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Sweeney. You came in right at the opportune time, as always. Right on time. That's Mr. and Mrs. Sweeney. God bless both of you. We are about to begin. Actually, let me refresh your chat before we begin, because you're all chatting so fast it's slowing down my cache. That's what you get for storing it locally. I like to do my streams manually. And you pay you don't pay a price, but it definitely causes, you have to monitor things. So give me a second while I refresh the chat. It'll make everything go faster. Hot today in Boston. Going to be a great night for a World Cup match, though. Whether you're watching it, whether you're in California, that would be epic. Whether you're out at a fine drinking or eating establishment for a meal of food. Tonight is going to be quite a night in America. I recommend you get your flags, your American flags. Tonight we are all Americans. Well, a lot of us are Americans. But anyway, I feel bad for the opposition because I think it's Panama. They're not going to have a lot of fans there tonight. It's going to be pretty ruckus. America is not really known, let's just say, for its soccer fandom. But we don't have the best chance, for example. But on the whole, I think tonight will be good. And I predict the U.S. will win 2-1. It'll be very dramatic, like exceptionally dramatic. Hello. All right. We're back. I got your chat refreshed. That reduced a lot of the cache. See, I'm a technical troubleshooter, Towel. It was Michael Proctor who really pushed for the charges for Yuri and them. The charges against Aiden remind me of the charges against Tiffany Overstreet. Same thing with Karen. They're very similar cases. You can read about that from Turtle Boy's September 2022 article about Tiffany Overstreet. All right, here we go. Examples of text messages sent by Proctor to his group chat, and we learn a new identity in this document. All right? He's a former Milton cop. I found his Twitter. Quote, this double standard / reverse racism, this is said by Michael Proctor, that N-words get away with absolutely infuriates me, said Michael Proctor. Silent dogs, you don't think any countries are real? Next quote. We've heard this one from the previous document. The previous one was new. This is a previous quote from Karen Suit. Detroit should be destroyed, this is Michael Proctor speaking, along with places like Flint, Michigan. They are breeding grounds for N-words to run wild. I forgot how bad it was. Now, this is really bad. We don't know what case he's referring to. Proctor says, quote, 9 whitey people and 3, he uses this word, Negroes on the jury. Now, that word's not used anymore. It is very offensive. Well, Silent Dogs, this is probably the only one you might have a good argument on. there may have been 3 white people, 9 white people and 3 black people on the jury. Factually, it's still not okay for him to be using these terms. He's a cop. He can't have bias. It's not permissible. It's not a First Amendment issue. Quote, again, this is a state cop talking to other cops. Quote, this is Michael Proctor speaking. I was planning on tying a N-word up and then Michael Proctor says, and dragging him from my bumper through the streets of Randolph. Excuse me? So he had all these violent racist fantasies, and then he would go out there and arrest black people and just beat them a few times and be like, well, I couldn't do that, so beating them was good enough. They let him work as a cop. It wasn't that they overlooked this. They wanted to use this to make sure he stayed in line. Are you seeing it now? Every level. Proctor's probably like, but listen, they were doing to me what they were doing to the girls. They were making me do this. You don't understand. All right, Mr. Proctor, well, cooperate, I suppose, then. I mean, why didn't you do it already? My first move would have been to go to Leah Foley, frankly. I would have been like, Leah Foley. Quick frame drop. I know, what an inconvenient frame drop. What weird timing on our frame drop. We're back. If you get any buffering, or if anyone asks in chat, just tell them to refresh. We'll be good. Mike Johnson, good to see you. All right. So I just want to say, that's an absolutely disgusting comment. The next one is even worse. Michael Proctor says to his friends, if you see an N-word with the hard R, this is what he says exactly, just unalive it. Each word of that sentence gets worse. He refers to black people as the N-word with a hard R, tells the person to just unalive the black people randomly if they see them, and then refers to black people as it. Oh, Francine, I understand the point that you want to make, but the bot's going to get made. And we probably, I know we're critiquing Michael Proctor, but yeah, not a good word. We're gonna want to put the star, But yeah, I understand this makes people very upset, so I understand you want to express your frustration. But let's put a star. Let's not use Michael Proctor's words, because even though we're critiquing him, let's put a star in them. Rosemary Scapiccio does that in this filing, and I think we should do that in the comments. So even though I understand, and you are all very justified, let's follow that standard. Next, Michael Proctor says, ha, 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 Cookie, let's, get some horses and white sheets. And then Michael Proctor says, he wants to go burn a cross in the Arboretum. Wait, what? Somebody's going to make like an image of this. He wanted to... First of all, who's Cookie? He wanted to take Cookie... As of yet, we don't know who Cookie is. He wants to take Cookie, and it's probably a reference to like Cookie or something from high school, like sports. He wants to get some horses. I don't know where he's going to get these horses. I don't think we should allow him around any horses. Then he wants to get some KKK hoods, and then he wants to burn a cross in the Arboretum. Yeah, Cookie's definitely a nickname. Probably I'm guessing it's a reference to Ookie Cookie. because that's a very common thing in high schools around here. Don't ask, bro. I highly recommend you do not ask. But I'm going to guess that's the origin. Because why would you call a man Cookie? That's a ridiculous nickname. The Arboretum is Section 8 housing. Makes sense, RHM. These guys were virulent racists. Yeah, it's pretty bad, Tal Mumlin, if that's indeed the origin of the name. And, by the way, random aside, so it turns out, you know how Epstein had all those weird recipes for, like, weird cakes and stuff? They're like little cookies, and it seemed like they were laxatives. No, bro. They were sacraments. It turns out that, like, part of their religion, the end part of the, like, ritualistic magic is they eat this, like, baked bread or like muffin, like a bran muffin with human fluids in it. It like completes the circle. Some demon worshipping thing apparently. Anyway, so that has nothing to do with this cookie, but I did learn that, and I just wanted to let you all know. That kind of put that into, like, it made sense to me. Why would Jeffrey Epstein be baking like bran muffins? He wasn't making bran muffins. He was creating sacraments with human fluids. Yeah, turns out it's a thing, Silent Dogs. It's part of, like, Babylonian, like, neo-pagan, sort of ritualistic sex magic. It's weird. These dudes are weird as all hell. But that's an aside. Cookie just reminded me I learned that, and I wanted to tell you all. No, Nanya, it looks like they needed fiber. But what it really was just a sacrament. It's like, instead of eating a wafer, like, or drinking the communion wine, they create like a wafer or like a cookie, like a kind of like a bread like thing, and then they put. There are 3 types of bodily fluids you can imagine probably go into it. None of them are pleasant, and it like completes the circle of their ritual. I don't know why. I think it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. It's disgusting. Chat Mom Lynn asks if Proctor could be prosecuted. I mean, I don't really know what I can't even begin to fathom. Like, Annie Dukem got in a lot of trouble. It's not only whether there's prosecutable offenses, it's the impact on the cases that are already prosecuted that he testified in. You gotta throw all those cases out. They're completely illegitimate. The defendants didn't have a chance to bring this up, and they all got convicted illegitimately. Actually, you know what? I'm not a lawyer, but I did go to law school. This is not legal advice. If there's any evidence that Proctor, under oath, lied about this or withheld it, that could probably be obstruction. If he lied to the federal grand jury, that would be 18 U.S.C. 1001. That's a federal felony. So you could bang him on an obstruction, I'm sure. But the question is what? I don't think it's just that he hid this. It's what I would ask him if I were Leah Foley's office is, listen, like, what were these people asking you to do, Mr. Proctor? Like, what did they come to you and ask you to do? Because what I really want is not Proctor. I want the big fish. I'll give Proctor a deal if I'm the U.S. attorney. It's ugly as hell, but I gotta keep him alive. You gotta remember, they want him alive. If I were the DOJ, I would actually probably pick him up. I would pick him up for his safety, and I'd put him in, like, WITSEC, and I'd charge him with something, like, perfunctorily, just to get him in jail and save him. And then I would say, listen to me. Like, what? I want the guys in your chain of command. Like, I don't want you. I want to know who told you to do X, Y, and Z. Like, what was the deal? Well, how did they blackmail you? Give me them on that, and I'll let you roll on them, and I'll give you a deal, and I'll protect you and your family if your family wants anything to do with you. But he might have to give up members of his own family. That's the problem. That's probably how he got in. So the problem is we're going to run into this situation where once he does this, there's no going back. But this is a ticking clock. They got to move quick. They really do. He might not make it. There are people who aren't going to, I'm worried that there are people out there around him who do not want him to make it. So they got to move. If Leah Foley and her office are smart, which they are, they took that series of events last week as an indication that he could be no longer alive down in some facility, and the excuses he just couldn't take it. You can't let that happen. It'll collapse the whole case. You can't. He's one of the key guys. You could get it through Farwell. You could get it through probably Fanning. Fanning looks very, very weak under interrogation. You got to read those IA files from the Tully IA investigation and the Proctor IA investigation. Fanning looks very weak under interrogation. But I think you need Proctor. I think Proctor's family goes back way, way, way back. So I think they have a lot of influence. They're just like, some families have been around since the Quaker times. They've been around forever, like the Salem witch trials, that far back. But anyway, regardless, my point is the same. We have to. I would say to him, I'll let you off and protect you, but I need you to tell me who above you was ordering this, and when did it go, who hired you, who brought you in, what was the deal, was it written, was it oral, where did you meet, what is going on? And if he's I can't do it, then I'd be then you are the one going down. But if he's okay, I'll do it, then I'd be fine, I'll roll you, and then I would protect him. I almost became a federal prosecutor. I would have been good at it. But you don't understand. You can't have me as a line prosecutor. Do you know what that would be like? Every day I would go into Main Justice and be this is a travesty. Let me at them. I want to bring them all down. And they'd be Grant, you can't collapse the economy. You can't arrest everyone in power. Yes, I can. Let me do it. Let me at them. No, Grant. No, that you can't do that. Yes, I can. I have the evidence. Grant, that's not how it works. Yes, it is. So anyway, absolutely, Silent Dogs, you have a great time in the garden with the dogs. We're going to keep reading. But my point is, the feds, to answer Tile Mom's Lynn's question, it's federal stuff. He probably committed state crimes, but come on. You can't be charging him with, that just creates the system again, unless Deitch is in there. You got to charge him federally, and you don't charge him. There's a conspiracy here. I want the people above him. I'd treat it like any other drug or human trafficking investigation, and I would roll up the chain. No, Nunya, this is actually the sequel to Black Mass. Because the reason the state police and the Norfolk DA in particular and that whole office and unit hate the U.S. Attorney's Office and vice versa is it actually turns out that the old Norfolk DA, William Delahunt, in 1975 was eating dinner in a restaurant when Stephen the Rifleman Flemmy, on behalf of Whitey Bulger, came into the restaurant, threatened this dude over an $100,000 debt, and then the Norfolk DA, William Delahunt, who is actually the man that courthouse that Karen's trial was in and Aiden's cases are in, is named after. He went on to be a federal rep. Anyway, Delahunt goes to the FBI, an agent named H. Paul Rico, who's working under the U.S. Attorney's Office in Boston in 75, right around when the Miles Connor thing happened. Adnan Khashoggi stole my freaking paintings. I can't go down that rabbit hole. Anyway, so the point is, you can type !paintings in the chat and Nightbot will tell you all about it. So anyway, Delahunt goes to the FBI and is bruh, why I can't prosecute this? I'm a material witness to an extortion attempt. I saw them threaten the dude's life. I need you to prosecute this. The FBI just doesn't get back to him. they stonewall them because they were working with Flemmy and Bolger. Oh, they were working with Flemmy since the 60s. Bolger was rolled in. Conley says it was in the 80s. I think it was in the 70s. But anyway, so the point is, what happens is, and this is what Black Mass is about. I'm summarizing for you Gerard O'Neill and Dick Layer's Black Mass in full. The book, not the movie. The movie is not what actually happened. You got to read the book, bro. The movie doesn't even touch some of this stuff because it's hot. What happened was, after Delahunt went to the FBI and the DOJ, and they wouldn't charge Whitey and Flemmy, Delahunt, in a very dumb move, set up a wiretap on the Hanover Street garage in the North End. Now, you got to understand what was going on in the 70s and 80s. You had a garage on Hanover Street where the, remnants, not the remnants, but the legacy of the Winter Hill Gang, which was like the Irish mob afterish gangs. They had turf wars. So, hold on. Little frame buffer. It's going to take a second. We're back. In the 50s and 60s, there were Irish turf wars in Boston. There was a bunch of different gangs. Winter Hill emerged as the king of the castle. Whitey took out Winter Hill. Whitey was kind of running stuff. But the Italians, okay, they were really running the city. The Irish had a lot of power over in Somerville, okay, and in South Boston and in other areas. But the reality is the Patriarchas, who were the commission's men in Rhode Island, out of Providence, ran Boston through the Angulos, who were two brothers that were called In Town that worked out of 95 Prince Street. Now, when you read Black Mass, you're going to learn two important details. There were two simultaneous investigations, one going on by the state police related to Whitey and Flemmy. That was a retaliatory investigation because of various things, mostly the Delahunt thing. Now, at the same time, the FBI, with the help of Flemmy and Bolger, were spying on 95 Prince Street down the North End. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get the Angulos, because after the SDNY started figuring out they could use the RICO statute, which was written in 72, not deployed until 85 for the first time, because the guy who wrote the RICO statute had to go around telling federal prosecutors how to use it because nobody understood what it was. It's complicated. But anyway, Rudy Giuliani figured it out. And then they wanted to also break up the Boston mob. All right, so you got the remnants of Winter Hill, the Irish mob. Okay, then you got the Italian mob, okay? The state police are spying on the Irish mob, very general terms. The FBI, everybody understand what's going on? It's water under the fridge. Hello, my dear friend. We're having an excellent night reading about Michael Proctor. Hello, and God bless you. Hashtag Save the Great Lakes. Water under the fridge is wonderful. And I am a towel. Hashtag Save the Goats. All right, here we go. So, these two parallel wiretaps are going on. Now, here's where it gets really interesting. The feds figure out that the state police, in response to Delahunt being mad that the FBI wouldn't investigate Flemmy and Whitey because they were their informants, that Delahunt is spying on the Hanover Street garage. The FBI, John Conley and H. Paul Rico, tell Flemmy and Whitey that the state police are spying on them. So Whitey starts taunting them and Flemmy, just driving around, flipping them off, we know you're here. So the state police are now really, really, really mad because the FBI in Boston and the DOJ have now burned their wiretap of Whitey, which was in retaliation for the FBI not charging Whitey and Flemmy for the extortion threat that was witnessed firsthand by William Delahunt, then the Norfolk County District Attorney. Well, Flow State, I love it. God bless you. So, D.D. Dames, it's so good to see you. Now, this is where it gets really ugly. You ever wonder why the FBI looked so bad when the whole Whitey thing went down? Well, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen, it was because the Massachusetts State Police Unit at the time that was mad about what went down, along with, the Norfolk DA's office, burned Whitey and the FBI and John Conley, and they were like, listen, this is all leading to a very bad situation where, crimes are being enabled, murders in particular, multiple murders were approved. You can't be doing that under the rules. It was bad. And so the state police caused the FBI to lose face in Boston in the 90s. The FBI is a long memory, all right? Directors change, agents change, but the Bureau remembers. That's how I'd explain it, but I don't know anything about that. My point is, the Bureau has been waiting 40 years, in my opinion, to get back at the state police for what they did in the 90s with the Whitey situation. They hold the state police responsible for burning that whole operation with Whitey and making the FBI look bad. You don't make the FBI look bad. And they're going to get him. Trust me, that's why I think they're going to get him. They want to make the state police a pariah. It's payback for Whitey. Trust me, that's my opinion, but I think it's payback. All right, we're going to continue. And remember, this is intense material. And you should read Black Mass, but this is the sequel. Mark my words. Hey, did you know that in 6th grade, I would watch wrestling, WWF, like 2001, like April, May. I would watch that wrestling leading up to WrestleMania 17, The Rock, Stone Cold. It was great. In the evenings, like on Monday, Thursday. I figured out they taped SmackDown on Tuesdays, though. I was smart. And then in the mornings before school, sometimes I would watch Garfield on Boston 25 because I liked Garfield. But I would also read Black Mass before school. I read that book 40 or 50 times when I was 11. And then I went to school with Dick Layer's son. And one time I said, I really like your dad's book. Can I come to your house and get it signed? I don't think he read the book or knew what it was about. He kind of knew his dad was a reporter for the Globe. But we were like 11, to be fair. And he was like, okay. So we went to his house. I went to Dick Layer's house when I was 11. Right after the book came out. I don't know why. I think my dad might have been involved with the task force that was looking into 95 Prince Street. I heard one time, my dad's dead now, God rest his soul, but one time he was really drunk. He was a nice man, but he got drunk at a wedding, and he was talking to me, and he only said this once in his whole life, so I don't know what the hell he was involved with when he worked on this task force, but he was like, I was in the garage, and we had to tell the agents looking at Prince Street like when they could turn the wiretaps on based on what the people were talking about, based on the scope of the warrant. I was like, what? What? And then he just moved on in conversation and he never mentioned it again. Now, he was our DA at the time for the Middlesex Attorney's Office, the Middlesex DA, but I think he was on a joint task force with the FBI. So, he was not on the side of the state police in that one. He was with the feds. But anyway, my point is, so, that was an interesting moment. But I don't know why the book, I don't know who gave me the book. I think my dad likely talked to Dick Layer. Dick Layer never told me this. My dad never told me this. But, why would my dad have this book? And, why would he give it to me when I was 11? I didn't really think about it at the time. My dad used to give me all sorts of books. He used to give me Supreme Court decisions, the transcripts of the oral arguments. I'd be 10 years old, before school, just kind of reading random, Lawrence v. Texas. I read Tinker v. Des Moines when I was 12. By the time I was in high school, I knew enough to say that it was wrong for a teacher to tell a kid he had to stand up and pledge to the flag because there was a case about it. Anyway, so I go over to Dick Layer's house, and I'm like, Mr. Layer, I really liked your book. Would you sign it for me? And Mr. Layer looks down at me like I had 6 heads. And he's not rude about it. It took him 10 seconds, and then he was like, wait a minute. You read the book? And I was like, read it? I have every word memorized. I read this every day before school. It's great. I thought it was the most normal thing in the world. I really liked the book. It was a great book. He was a great writer. Now that I think about it, if an 11-year-old came up to me and was like, sir, I've been reading, Black Mass. I think it's very interesting. I'd be like, where are your parents? And why are you reading this? It doesn't really have cuss words. There are some in there. But little child, I don't think you should be reading about this, And then I think he realized very quickly that I wasn't just reading it, I was understanding it and processing this book. And he signed it for me. I still got the signed copy. It was a great moment in my towel life. I was just a young washcloth. Anyway, so that's I guess I was, destined in some ways to cover this. It's kind of the culmination of what got me into journalism. Dick Layer, definitely. And he was a writer for the Globe. He wrote Black Mass. But anyway, so yeah, I guess not only do I have Black Mass memorized, I've had it memorized since 2001. I've been reading that book for 25 years. I love that book. It's a really good way to learn how to be a journalist. It's a different style than I write. I don't write like dialogue. He's more of like a novelist journalist. It's great. I love it. It's so engaging. I write more like just the facts, with a little bit of like moral incredulity mixed in, but I don't do a lot of like, I don't put characters in a place and time and have them talk. I don't do that in my journalism. He does though. Oh, Greer's Garden. Thank you for that, Flow State. That was great. Dicklet, so just read Black Mass. You can't understand Tiffany Overstreet's case, or Sandra Birchmore's case, or Karen Reed's case, or Aidan Carney's case unless you read Black Mass. That's the primer. Then once you like get to these cases, you'll have a footing and you'll understand the machinations and why the feds are not going to let this go. It's not a regular case. They have a grudge and they're going to get these guys. But yeah, I just have it memorized. I love that book. You should really read it. I cannot extol the virtues of that book enough. Professor Lair is really smart. He's a professor. Known him for almost 3 decades now that I think about it. When was the last time I talked to him? I don't remember. It was within the past 5 years. I think it might have been about some of this. I don't remember. He's very smart. He's probably the smartest man I've ever met. I met a like particle physicist from MIT one time. He was cool. That was a little weird now that I think about it. He had students over at his house. I thought it was weird at the time. Actually, a lot of things about that interaction were weird now that I think about it. I found myself in a lot of weird situations over the years. Anyway, yeah, he might be the smartest man I've ever met, though. I think he's up there. Like, he's a living legend. People don't realize it. But yeah, especially in the context of this case. He could write. I don't think he could. He's probably, like, retired or getting there. But he would have been the person to do this. If not, that's why I picked up the torch. Like, Aidan did a really good job. Aidan exposed a lot of this, but these guys punished Aidan for exposing a lot of this. And, you know, maybe Aidan was the only one who could do it for that reason. I don't think the modern Globe would have done it. I like the Globe a lot. But this is too much. It really is. You needed Turtle Boy to find this. And that's why I think the Tiffany Overstreet thing is the key to it. It's all one continuous chain from like 1975 through now. All right, let's go back to the document. I really don't like reading this stuff. Karma Dharma, the Globe's hit or miss. They got some good investigative journalists. They cite to me a lot. I like them. I like the editorial board. I have a lot of colleagues there. John Henry's weird, though. I don't know him, but I don't like his editorial style. I like how he allows some of the journalists to work. I don't like the paper's editorial style. It's weird. It's not how I would do it. It's kind of like the New York Times. It's stuck in an old modality, and it's collapsing because of it. And it's too stubborn to change. And it's going to collapse because of it, which is sad, because it's the paper of record. All right, let's go. Oh, I'm not reading this next one. Nope, 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 nope. Oh my, I know I quoted this. I remember reading it now on the first read through. I'm not saying this. Hello, Magic. It's so good to see you. Listen. We're going through the Michael Proctor stuff. These are new revelations. Karen, did you miss this one? Maybe Karen didn't get this one. Can you believe what Proctor is about to say? Listen to this. Oh my goodness, I don't know. I don't want to read this. I'm offended. I'm hurt. I'm not saying this. Pete Bunny, I'm going on strike. I object. Don't make me play the war song. Wait a minute. I don't want to play the war song because I feel like it might lead to the Iranians getting a little bit, overexcited. And I want peace. So, you know, I think I want to play a song that expresses, I'm not reading this next sentence until I play a song that expresses my fury with it. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I'm mad. We're listening to a song. Give me a second. All right, I got to play a song that allows me to mentally prepare for this. It's how bad it is. I'm not reading this. All right, what do I want? I need something. All right, here we go. How about this? Let's see. Since, you know, apparently this could be coming for some people, let's listen to a song. It's a 33-second clip called First Name Basis.
Listen. Y'all don't understand how spanked the feds already. That shit real I be talking about. My fighting cases right now on the BSF case right now. Them niggas watch all my snaps, all my pages. Just know everything, real shit. The Federal Bureau of Investigation in Buffalo already know everything. They know me by my first name, and they know my hands is clean.
Respect the scorpion, nigga. The butcher coming, nigga. Y'all know what it is, nigga. Black Soprano family, nigga. Gave niggas the benefit, talked it out when I could've paid killers to finish it. Grave diggers that's generous. From a corner store, now we made niggas with businesses. In courtrooms, I ate with them same niggas they mentioning. My album, I wrote down cocaine dealing definitive. Okay, you had to play the game to really spit that articulate. The word about my name is I paint them pictures meticulous. And roll with a brick on the train, feeling adventurous. Brought them 15,000 and got it all back. The money slow, I hit the bottom, I was down to a stack. I thought about it, took a moment, then rerouted my map. And moved my family out of town in the condo off rap. Fuck with this song, I wanna hear the sound of y'all gat. Shoot sound in y'all lap, riding dressed down in all black. And that gangster shit you on don't come out till y'all rap. And that old work you put in don't count cause y'all rats. Beamer weaving between cars got me breathing hard. Serve it clean, we dream large with uneven odds. It will never inconvenience me to leave abroad. Sometimes you sever ties even if it leave a scar. It's gonna take a bank vault for that advance to suit me. And I'm about Versace since they banned Gucci. In interviews they ask me questions and I answer truthfully. Fiend cooked a half for a can of beer and a loose.
I flood the streets with drugs and clock dollars. Get the cream with my team and I'm good.
Only the real can relate, forget the money live.
You know the rules to the game. I flood the streets with drugs and clock dollars. Get the cream with my team and I'm good.
Only the real can relate, forget the money live.
Pardon me. So really, what's the difference between that? If anything, that song is probably more tame. It's art. It's probably more tame than what Michael Proctor said. So we're gonna call it the Michael Proctor theme song. That was Flood the Block, I think, by Benny. I think it's Benny the Butcher. Yeah, he's cool. He played in Boston last year. I didn't go, but I heard it was a good show. That's cool. I mean, I've listened to him for a while, but that EP in particular is really good. Anyway, I mean, listen, if Michael Proctor wants to talk the talk, he's got to understand, the language. He's got to speak the language. I bet if he listened to that song, he wouldn't even understand what they were saying. Like, what the hell does it mean to, roll with a brick on the train because you're feeling adventurous? Well, I mean, he's not talking about a brick. He's not gonna go out and throw a brick through a window. He's talking about moving weight. Anyway, so a lot of hip hop is code. It's fascinating. But if Michael Proctor wants to get down, you know what I'm saying, then he's got to understand the language, Hello, T.A. Serva. How you doing? Good to see you. I'm just a towel, though. I don't know nothing about nothing. I don't even know what we're talking about right now. I was just kind of, ranting. Anyway, so getting back to our discussion, I'm not ready to read this. I'm mad. T.A. Sarah, you might need to wear your earmuffs. There are new Proctorgate messages. It's almost as bad as humanly possible. I'm going to do this. We have an hour and a half left till the U.S. World Cup game. I am going to get through this. Okay. This wasn't in Karen's filing. You all need to put a... Kofi, put on your earmuffs. Pete Bunny Towel, do not listen to this. You're hilarious. Water under the fridge. Water under the fridge says he can move the bricks to his front door. Okay. I'll let Benny the Butcher know. All right, here we go. Everybody ready? I can't do this. Lord, all right, Lord Jesus, in the name of journalism and the public interest, please forgive me. I'm going to pray for a second. Okay, I'm going to do it. Kofi, put your earmuffs on. Here we go. Oh, Jesus. Quoting Michael Proctor, who says he hopes that she, ambiguous pronoun, gets S-aid. He did not use that word. He used the R word with a D at the end. In the 100-pound oh God. N-words. That is the worst thing I've ever heard in my life. How did either Karen didn't get that, or it's just so much material they didn't see that. I mean, that's such a blatant example of bias towards women. What, did Proctor want Karen to go into jail so she'd be traded for a Snickers bar? I'm honestly worried about that. That's what I heard. In Massachusetts women's prisons, they'll trade you for a Snickers bar. But I've never been to one. Just talk to some people. But anyway, that's disgusting. It took me 10 minutes to build up the courage to read that. I'm still... I have a lot of things I want to say. None of which are appropriate for this stream. Most of which would just be me screaming cuss words because I'm so offended. That combines all of the most horrible things you can possibly say into one sentence. And he's doing it over and over. This isn't like... First of all, I don't understand how this could happen in a vacuum. But say like okay, let me give an example. Say somebody said something on TV, right? And you want to quote it and say it to someone, right, in a text. Because you're really offended, which I can understand. All right, so I'm sure it's happened to all of us. You're watching TV or a stream, you see a clip, somebody somewhere said this, and you want to relay it in a quote. So you put the quote, you send it as a message, and then as a follow-up, you say, and that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen in my life, or whatever. Maybe if there were one message and the context were quoting someone and then condemning it in like the message after, that might be the one potential explanation for one message. We have like hundreds, thousands. It's a pattern. It's endemic. It gets worse over time. There is no explanation, no justification, other than there are people who either enable this culture or who embrace it and who like it. And they're too cowardly to go stand out in public and say it. So they act on it and hide behind the veneer of professionalism and the Constitution to take out their sick, sexual, racist, sadistic fantasies. Everyone was right. It's not all cops. We got a lot of cops who make sacrifices and probably are disgusted by this and are like, this is going to take 30 years to repair our reputation because of these terrible humans. But there are cops out there like this, that this proves it. They don't go out there and overtly say this while they're shooting. But you don't think that some of the times that there was a black defendant, Michael Proctor was like, oh, I'm mad about like whatever thing he was mad about that day, and that's a black person, he just shot him up. Or that's someone who doesn't look like me, or that's someone who I look down on, he just shot him up. And his excuse was, oh, they had this, or they did that, or they ran at me, or they had a knife, and nobody asked any questions because they were dead. So, with that said, we're going to keep going. We heard this one. There's actually more context to this. Rosemary quotes it as, hey, N-word, go fetch Sir Bear his wings and pizza. What it actually was Proctor was watching a Texas A&M sporting event, saw a player with a headband that says cash me outside, and then as a result said he wanted to enslave all the black people. And then after that he was like, I can send them to Bertucci's if we had slaves. And that's when that quote gets dropped. Yeah, I think he literally just wanted to purge the world of black people and Jewish people and women. I think women are most... So the vibe that you get is that women are sex objects in his eyes. Like, you're just supposed to just, like, use them and move on. You got, like, one woman at home, and then you got gumars, and you just use the gumars, and then you, like, tell the wife to shut up. And she's just another, I hate to say this word, but in his words, hole. Seriously, that's the view of women. And then they seem to believe that black people should not exist at all in America. They just want to kill them all. I'm serious. They say this verbatim, basically. And then they seem to think Jewish people are very bad. They think Anne Frank, one of them said Anne Frank's a liar. It's disgusting. I'm half Jewish myself. I have been to the Anne Frank house. I've been to the camps in Prague. I've been to the Jewish cemetery in Prague. I know full well that she was telling the truth. And for them to say it without, I know that those dudes who saying that stuff did not go to Anne Frank's house. They did not go to the camps. They've probably never been to the Jewish cemetery in Prague, where some of my family members are buried, by the way. And so to see them do this is disgusting. They're completely uneducated. They don't like anyone. Apparently the only people they were cool with were some white Catholic men. And that wasn't even good enough. You had to be like in their circle too, or you would get it. Triplet Bob, hello Tiffany Bob, hello. All right, let's continue. But yeah, Rosemary didn't even include the worst part of that one. The next one, Proctor says, haha, I am up. Just got some, I'm not saying this word, okay? It's a type, like the second part of the word is like a type of drink at Christmas, okay? The latter half of that word. The first word is a shortened version of the N-word, okay? It's disgusting. That word is not used, bro. Who says that? Nobody says that. Nobody. Not even, bro, you gotta, there's no part of the internet even like that says that. You gotta be on like some dark corners of the internet. Like the darkest freak, like what the hell was John Fanning having these dudes do? Were they hanging out with like Kate Peter on 8chan or something? It's only, bro, 8chan is actually not even like this virulent. They get a little rough. This is worse. I think some of them, I can't speak for them, but I feel like some of the chans would look at this and be like, this was a cop. Like I know some of them will say like complimentary words, but it's different when you're a cop. It really is. But my point is, like, where are you reading this stuff? Do you know where you see this stuff? Like Stormfront. And that is not a Billy Joel song. God bless your hearts. Trust me, I like the Billy Joel song. It's not a Billy Joel song. It's freaking horrifying. Like say what you will about artificial hate groups, which may be a thing. Dude, Stormfront is real. They've been real for a while. You don't need to like learn about the other groups. Like for journalistic purposes, you must understand that even though we don't like to talk about it, yes, there are underground militant you-know-what movements. And they mostly operate on like Discords, sometimes forums, but you can't have a forum if like Cloudflare's not going to host you, bro, or protect you from DDoS. So where are you going to go? Like you're not going to be indexed by Google. You could go to the dark web, but like what cop knows how to go through first of all, what cop other than a highly trained one knows how to use Tor? What the hell cop knows about an onion address? Dude, you see them trying to like figure out like metadata on a regular like Surface phone. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. What's an MD5 hash? What's salting a hash? They're confused. What's base 2? What's base 8? What's base 10? They don't even know they talk in base 10. Anyway, my point is, so you're just dealing with sort of another level of like intensity. What was I talking about? Hold on. I got to remind myself, then I'll read that wonderful super chat from Chris. Thank you for your super chat. Don't have the best chain. Bro, there's no one thing. They're completely uneducated. They don't like anyone. Apparently, hold on. They're completely uneducated. They don't like anyone. Apparently, the only people they were cool with were some white Catholic. I'm not saying this word. Having these dudes do. I'm not saying. Hold on. You could go to the dark web, but like what? Oh, right. Okay, Stormfront. So back to this. Where do you get this language from? Like there may be some surface level sites, but they're hard to find. And most cops are not going to find this stuff on the dark web. So these guys are reading like a very small corner of the internet somewhere. Like it's a common thread. Dude, they are definitely like, what do you call it? Like black-pilled or whatever the hell it is. There's a theme to all of this. I like was tracing those extremist groups doing the videos in Europe. I'm doing a similar thing here. Chris says, Grant, do you have a pair of Adidas Tally shoes? I have a new pair I want to send you. I want to send P.O. Box. I have none. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. God bless you. My email is grantsmithellis@gmail.com. If you contact me, Chris, that is the nicest thing anyone's ever offered. Towelly sneakers, that would be wonderful. I would be happy to send you my address. My email is grantsmithellis@gmail.com. If you just reach out to me and let me know, I'd be grateful. I didn't reply to your super chat in time, so it didn't go through, but let me just do it again. God bless you, Chris. That is amazing. My email is grantsmithellis@gmail.com. I would be happy to send that to you. Just drop me a quick line. That would be great. You're so kind. God bless you. Oh, Chris, I'll remember those forever. I'll post them. I don't want to wear them. I'm going to save them and put them in a very special box. That's the greatest thing. I am thrilled. After a tough night, all my Tower friends are here. My spirits are raised. We got an hour and 19 minutes before kickoff, so I got to get going on the reading. But I am so grateful. I can't wait. I'm so excited. That's wonderful. God bless you. Really raised my spirits during an intense document read. All right, let me drink some more water. I got to stay hydrated. All right, here we go. I am up, said Michael Proctor. He says, just got some blank pulled over. It's a very bad slur, who is unlicensed and debating arresting or giving him a summons. I told you. Who's that guy? We need the date of that. We need the date. We got to tell that man. He was probably sitting there in his car like, oh, is the cop gonna get me? Like, I'm black. Like, is he gonna treat me worse? And Proctor was actually gonna be racist against him. That guy probably got arrested. Governor Healy has to comment. He was using his official powers to pull people over because they were black, and then he was targeting them. That guy we got to get that guy's record purged. That was an invalid stop. I demand that man's record be purged. Driver out there, wherever you are, with your unlicensed operation, whatever date that was, I'm gonna find that date. I'm gonna tell him. Somebody find him. He deserves to have his record expunged. Governor Healy, pardon these people. If I were the governor, I would do it. I'm mad. Now, Proctor says, quote, he will never see a movie anywhere else. He said at this theater there were apparently no N-words, hard R, obnoxious kids, and ample room to spread out and float some AI biscuits. What? What does that mean? What does it mean to float a biscuit? Am I just not... What? I've never heard of floating a biscuit. I don't understand. What does it mean when you float a biscuit? It's gotten so bad I don't know if that's bad or good or innocuous. On the surface, it doesn't make a lot of sense. Why would you be floating a biscuit? You're supposed to eat it. Oh, I'm very upset. Oh, it's a fart. What? What? How are those things related? I'm never going to think about biscuits the same way again. Oh, biscuits are quite good. I don't understand. Oh, this is terrible. All right. I mean, it could have been worse. You know, at the end of the day, a fart is a pretty innocuous thing compared to some of the other things. Let's keep going. Proctor says to someone else named Michael, Mike, I wonder who that is. Michael Lank, maybe? Who's Michael? Ha 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 ha. Michael, we could use, says Proctor, them. Then he says the N-word with a hard R as dartboards. Whoa. Pick a handle, thank you for that clarification. Silent dogs. Silent dogs, I'm going to find a country that's real and send you there. How about that one? Next, Proctor said, oh, we've read this one before. It's horrifying. Proctor said it should be punch a N-word horror day in Canton today out of retribution. Any blank, it's a slur. You see blast it. There it is again, saying the word it. Shows up again and again. Proctor referring to black people as it in the face. Then Proctor says, well, this is another quote. This is Michael Proctor. N-word smell regardless. Oh, God. That's disturbing. Give me 1 second. All right. Proctor's, oh my goodness. Proctor said, this is what Miles King says in footnote 2, Rosemary Scapiccio. King is also filing a USB drive under seal with the discovery provided by the Commonwealth about Proctor's phone. There it is. We're going to get it eventually. It's on the King docket under seal. Hashtag, we need to go to Unimpound Town on that exhibit immediately. Hashtag, give me the USB drive. Hashtag, take... Oh, listen, this is the most important trip to Unimpound Town of all time. Somebody tell Nurse Kim Somebody tell Attorney Melanie Little, we must immediately put rocket engines on the train to this specific unimpound town. In that kitchen, localized like the Aurora Borealis in Principal Skinner's, near his oven while cooking a hamburger. Now listen, it's very important. We need it. It's all there. She put it on the record. That's the bombshell that was hiding in there. It's all there. It's on the record. I demand it. We got to get it unsealed. Hashtag Judge Doolin unsealed those files. Gorbachev brought down the wall. This is almost as big. Hold on, I'm yelling so loudly I spiked the frames. Give me 1 second. We're back. Now listen. Now listen. Now listen. I'm back. Hello. Now listen. Mr. Gorbachev brought down the wall. Judge Doolin, bring down that seal. We must see these files. Oh, it's incredibly important. There's stuff in there they might not have understood. Rosemary's smart, all right? But that doesn't mean she's going to get everything that's in that stuff. There's hundreds of thousands of documents. We need everybody doing it. We need all the super towels, all the wonderful researchers. There's a lot of us out here. We're ready. Rosemary set the ticking time clock. It's only a question now of when, not if. Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, we must do this. This is the most important train to Unimpound Town that's ever left the station. Judge Doolin has complete control over this. Wow, that's going to be great. It's so important that we get that. We need the whole thing because Rosemary can only do so much. She's one lawyer. She's great. But we need to help her. We need that document. Attachment B to this motion is the key. Silent Dogs, I'm sending you. You know what, Silent Dogs? I've decided the best country that we can put you in is the Galapagos Islands. That is a real country. You and the dogs, you're going to have a great time there. And then you can tell the turtles down there all about it. Is the Galapagos Islands real? Yes. Will we send you there? Yes. All right. Let's continue. Now that this is it, we have our moment, though. I've been waiting forever because nobody's filed the damn things. They just keep referencing them with some exhibits. There it is. Listen to me. That USB drive is like gold. Clerk Margaret is the guardian of the USB drive. Clerk Margaret, she held it today. I bet she held that USB drive. Clerk Margaret, she. Don't understand. It's in the safe. They have a safe. I'm not kidding you. They legitimately have a safe. They're so proud of the safe. I'm not kidding you. Try to get into. First of all, good luck getting into the courthouse. It was built during the Sacco and Vanzetti trial to keep out the anarchists. Second of all, they have a safe I know where that USB drive is. I've never seen the safe, but I know generally, temporally, where it is. Oh, oh my goodness. Listen. There's a lot of people in the world that want to get their hands on that USB drive. Clerk Margaret's the guardian of it. She's going to protect it. You don't get me wrong. She's very firm in her duties. Until it gets unsealed, no one will see it. But it exists. We now know where it is. It's not as good as the Ark of the Covenant, but it may as well be close. I would do anything to get my hands on. I won't, but I would do anything to get my hands on that USB drive. We need it. It must be unimpounded. It must be unsealed. Judge Doolin, somebody find a way to petition Judge Doolin to give us that file. Judge Doolin, give it. Just do it. You know you want to do it. It'll make Karen happy. It'll be great. Hashtag do it. I can't believe this was in there and I missed it. Hello, Sarah B. Creative. We have wonderful news. I can tell you that the Michael Proctor discovery exists on a criminal docket under seal, which means it's a USB drive. The world needs that drive. Where's the Boston Globe? Petition to unseal. Let's all do it. All of us. And call the Herald. Call the Globe. Call WHDH. Call Channel 7. Call WCVB. Call Christina Rex. Listen, we got to approach callboston.com. We got to approach this as a united front. Petition to unseal that damn USB drive. We need a lawyer. Oh, we got to get this. Let's do it. If we can get that USB drive, we can actually parse through it as a full, open source thing. We got to do it. It's going to be incredibly expensive. Well, maybe not. We can get the Globe to do it. They want it. The Globe's always suing for court records. There's a lot of cases where the Globe wins them. See what I mean? We needed the Globe after all. Hello, T.A. Sarah. Yes, I would love to take a look at the USB drive, but it's under seal. And it's locked in a safe in Norfolk Superior Court under the watchful eye of Clerk Margaret, the future Secretary of Commerce. She doesn't know about that plan yet, though. Don't tell her. I can't believe Clerk Margaret saw that USB drive. Oh, I bet she held it like it was like a golden object. I can only imagine. Let me just imagine that moment. This is not real. She probably was like, and I would be like, you don't understand. They probably all stood around in the clerk's office. I hope Jen McCabe's cousin wasn't there. I heard she might work there. I don't know if it's true or not. My point is, I can only imagine all the ladies at the clerk's office just standing around being like, and then they had to go walk it over to the safe. Oh, that must have been quite a moment. Listen, you don't understand. You better be nice to the clerks. It's different if there's something weird going on, but you got to be nice to the clerks. The clerks know everything. The clerks make things happen. The clerks are the gateway to they know everything. They know your case better than you. I bet you $1, more than $1. They know your case better than you, especially in Superior Court. If you're a lawyer, they know the case better than you for a reason. Listen, Triple Bob says Clerk Margaret has a lot of power, but she lacks the power of the Minister of Tipping Canoes. Oh, a marshmallow! That's the greatest thing I've ever seen, a marshmallow. Hi, I love it. Thank you so much, Towel Mom Lynn. You're wonderful. All right, let's keep going. In the text, says Rosemary. By the way, you just found out that we got the USB drive. It's big news. Oh, it's big news. I should probably make a tweet about this. This is great news. All right, here you go. Just in. The moment we all have waited for has arrived. Rosemary Scapiccio. Hold on, I gotta spell her name right. Let me see if I can get it right. No, I'm never gonna get it right. I probably spelled it wrong last time. Rosemary Scapiccio has filed Michael Proctor's full Proctorgate messages on the criminal court docket in Norfolk Superior Court under seal. We need that USB drive. The world demands it. Bring us to Unimpound Town, Judge Doolin. The world demands it. I want to go. The world demands we go to Unimpound Town. This is the most important trip anyone's ever taken. Water Under the Fridge says we're very close to hitting our goal with just 20 minutes left. Only 2 more super chats, and then I will say I think I said apologize to God for Michael Proctor's messages, something along those lines, which probably is for the best. These are pretty disturbing. Let me drop the link. I'm covering the document live now. We need that USB drive. That is under the watchful eye of Clerk Margaret in the Norfolk Superior Court safe. The world demands it. Margaret. We need that USB drive unsealed. Unsealed. Forthwith. The world demands it. Bring us to Unimpound Town, Judge Doolin. You know you want to. Hashtag bring us to Unimpound Town. Give us that USB drive. The world. I want that USB drive. We're going to get it eventually. Listen, you don't understand. You can get it. It's on a criminal docket. It was hiding in a footnote. Rosemary's such a good writer. She writes differently than Alan. Alan and Damon Seligson and David Yannetti all have different styles, but they all write different than this. Rosemary hides very explosive stuff in footnotes. You got to learn the style of the brief writer because every writer is different. You really got to get in their mind to understand the pattern. Good motions are like jazz. It's not the high notes. It's the space in between the notes sometimes. You got to listen for the silence. So anyway, that USB drive is huge. Clerk Margaret's probably sitting there smirking. She's like, I'm a Clerk Margaret. No TAs there. The way we get this done is through some kind of intervention by like a newspaper where they move to unseal, or Rosemary moves to unseal. Somebody's got to unseal that USB drive. We're not going to take it. First of all, you're not getting it. No one's getting the physical drive until it's unsealed. Second of all, we respect the Constitution and the judicial system and Judge Doolin, and it is Judge Doolin who it will come down to. It might end up also involving Judge Krupp, but the point is it comes down to Judge Doolin. I think he's the regional administrative justice. If he says unimpound, it will be unimpounded. We need it. We demand it. It's actually unsealed, but I'm saying motion to Unimpound Town anyway. Hello, Ruthly. You've come in at quite a moment. We just found a footnote on page 4 of the new Proctorgate revelations. We have the full Proctorgate discovery on a criminal court docket filed under seal for the first time that I know of, which means we might get it. We can get it. You can, even if it takes a FOIA, look at all the Karen Reed discovery. We got it. We'll get this. We can get it. Oh, goodness. I can't believe it. I just can't believe I was here when I read this out loud. I missed it on the first read through. The whole entire thing. I want that USB drive. Oh, it would be like Christmas. You don't understand what the people out there who research this stuff can do with that drive unsealed. We can get everything. We can cross-reference everything. We can learn nicknames. We can find like weird code. We can see the dates. Give me that USB drive. I've never wanted anything so much in my entire life. The day that gets unsealed, I'm gonna run around in circles. Give me that USB. Rosemary put it there for us. This was her gift. Listen to me. Listen, she's sitting there I bet she's sitting there drinking whatever she drinks, wine, water, I don't know. It's a World Cup night. My point is she's smirking. She's like, oh yeah, they're going to figure it out. That's a power move. She just put it on the docket. It's sealed, but it's there. It's a USB drive. I want it. You'll get it far quicker than a civil case. All right, let's continue. Rosemary Scapiccio says, in the text, the full N-word is used as footnote 3. We've chosen to modify it for this filing. I think that's for the best. Thank you for that. Okay, Proctor's next text, this is Michael Proctor speaking, says, the first phone call that kid will make when a fellow, and then he says the N-word hard R, broke into his house or car is to the cops. Then Proctor says, Pendy, I haven't shot anyone. Who's Pendy? Do we know who's Pendy? So we got Cookie, we got Pendy. Who the hell's Pendy? Who's Cookie? He says, Pendy, we've seen this one in Karen's filing. I haven't shot anyone, but I did. And then Proctor says he pulled over a N-word today for tossing a cigarette out the window. Disgusting. Yes, water under the fridge. You've had some great suggestions. I've learned about great music from you. Proctor then says this, which we read in Karen's filings. He tells Ghana, the country, to eat a sexual organ. I think this was after the U.S. either beat them in the World Cup or tied Ghana. Proctor says he wants to, quote, enslave those N-words, hard R, because his car needs cleaning. Is Pendy in the same chat as Bird? Oh, yes, Bird. I forgot about Bird, T.A. Sarah. 20 million bonus points to T.A. Sarah. I think so. Oh, no. Proctor's next one says, quote, oh, great. Now and then Proctor says, the N-word with a hard R with an S, have a straight pipeline to Canton. Oh, boy. That's terrible. He's talking about, he didn't want black people living in his community. He lived in Canton. Next, Proctor says, 2 park rangers got stabbed in Boston Common. Then Proctor says, Michael Proctor, he thinks it has to be the work of a, quote, N-word, hard R. Next, Proctor says, quote, which is BS. And then Proctor says that and then he uses the N-word with a hard R. Then he calls them animals and says resort to that. Then on the only one one of the ones with a date, 10/1/2018, Proctor says to someone, I'd rather a racial slur, I'm blanking out what he said, I'd just shoot, this is what Proctor said, the quote, Proctor says N-word with an A, or scare him off by telling him that he has to work. What the hell? The stabbing was 10/4/14. Thank you, pick a handle. So the Boston Common stabbing was 10/4/2014. Thank you, pick a handle. And then Proctor on July 9th, 2019 said, Kenner, we don't know who Kenner is, and then Proctor says the N-word with an A and an S, are holding signs for you at the All-Star game. Who's Kenner? Was there someone in his group? So who was in the All-Star game in 2019 that had a name that was similar to someone in Proctor's group? Now, here are some texts that Proctor received from other members of a WhatsApp group. There's someone named Fargo, all right? And then there's someone named Larry Kennedy. Maybe Larry Now, Kevin Foley, it appears, was a cop in Milton, former cop. I don't know who Larry Kennedy is. This is one of the men in this court document. Maybe another cop. And then there's a man named Fargo. So let's see if Larry Kennedy was a cop in Massachusetts. Let me just look it up. Larry Kennedy, police, Massachusetts. Let's find out. There was someone named Robert Kennedy who used to be a cop in Stoughton that got arrested. But is there any cop named Larry Kennedy? What about Larry Kennedy from Canton? Maybe that'll give me a hit. Who's Larry Kennedy? Oh, I found him. Who are you? This isn't someone related to Meg Kennedy, the guidance counselor who reported about Sandra Birchmore. Is it? Oh, Lawrence Kennedy. Good idea. I have one from Boston. Another one, I can't figure out who this guy is. He doesn't look like a public official. from what I can see. Naples, Florida is where retired cops and politicians gather and purchase homes. Spook City, it sounds like. Up to 5 from Miami. So I don't know who Lawrence or Larry Kennedy is. I'm going to try to figure this out for you. I have another 53 minutes. I got to get through this document. I think, did Proctor go to Holy Cross? I think this guy is not a public official. I mean, there's a public interest now because his name is in this document. Like, there's kind of an obligation to figure out who he is because he said very racist things to a cop in a private discussion. He's a material witness. I think I found him, but I need to look, like, I'm not obviously showing any of this, but it is a court document. There's a material interest in figuring out, like, who Proctor was talking to in his official capacity using this language. Michael Proctor College. If he went to Holy Cross, I might have it. Where did he go to college? Didn't he go to Anna Maria? Where did former Mass State Trooper Michael Proctor attend college? It's either Anna Maria or Holy Cross. Water Under the Fridge sent 5 Super Towel memberships. Ruth Lee, Aaron Gobra, Kitty Coco, and Jane234, and Kim Farnham. You all got memberships from the one and only Water Under the Fridge. I'm so glad that Ruth Lee and Aaron and Kitty Coco and Jane and Kim all got memberships. Enjoy your new towel emojis. God bless Water Under the Fridge. That was a wonderful moment. We know Proctor's CV from the case had his college, right? It's actually very material here. St. Michael's. No, is that Proctor? No, that's not Proctor. Where did he go to college? No one knows. Interesting. I remember his CV from the trial. If Proctor went to Holy Cross, I think I know who Larry Kennedy is. If he didn't go to Holy Cross, I need to keep looking. Hi, Susan. It's so good to see you. I think I know who Kevin Foley is. This is the group chat that Proctor was in. I don't know who Larry Kennedy is yet. I think I know who Kevin Foley is. And I don't know who... Hold on. I don't know who Trendy is. I don't know who Fargo is. All right, so there's some people that are unidentified in this group chat, but I think I know who Kevin Foley is, a former Milton cop. I'm pretty sure. I don't know who Larry Kennedy is. Yeah, I think he's a civilian. I can't find any record yet of him being a cop. There was a Kennedy but it wasn't Larry Kennedy at the Stoughton Police Department. Maybe it's related to this Larry Kennedy. I don't know. I'll have to trace it down. I'm only just beginning my research into this name. Kevin Foley I found pretty quickly. That one was not hard because he was a cop. He's a very obvious cop, and he talked about Milton in some of these messages. That's how I found him. Yes. Wait a minute. Hold on. Grant, I found an article with Canton officer Kevin Foley that is mentioned in the messages. He was arrested for a prostitution ring. He has our CrossFit in Canton now. What? Pick a handle. Do you have this link? I'd love to read it. Wait a minute. So there was a Kevin Foley who was a Milton cop. Is it the same guy? Did he go from Canton to Milton and then retire? Oh my word. If it's a guy who went down for a prostitution ring, that's even wilder. Oh my word. I will absolutely issue a follow-up too. So I got to read this article. No way. Wow. Excellent work. Pick a handle. That's incredible. I'm very impressed. Let me look this up. Gotta pick a handle. Thank you. I'll look now. Oh, God bless you. Oh, God bless you, Sarah. You're wonderful. I got a donation. It didn't alert until I opened my app here. Oh, hold on. I didn't get the email yet. It's grantsmithellis@gmail.com. I'll check now. No email yet. You can just drop the link in the chat. Pick a handle. He was former military. I need to see the link. Yep, you can just drop it in the chat. Is it the Brockton Enterprise article? Yep, thank you. Pick a handle. 1 second. Yep, I found that one. Wait. That's wild. Talk about I knew there was more to this. Real Jack Matt, the war may be very close to over, my dear friend. We are close to a peace deal. Currently, I am covering a very wild series of events in Massachusetts. Canton police officer Kevin Foley arrested. Wait a minute. This guy just disappeared? He just stopped working for the Canton PD? Whoa. This is wild. Nobody reported on this, though. Is this the same guy? Wait a minute. And there's a connection to an Albert? And John's niece and nephew? What? Oh no. Oh no! Proctor knew. Oh my God, Proctor had a friend who knew John's niece and nephew from 2014? Oh my God, and Proctor knew Kevin Albert through this guy? Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. We reached our goal thanks to both Miss FAFO and Travis. Oh, I gotta cut a report on this. Oh my word. God bless both of you. Wow. Wow. I gotta update this. Oh, that other cop's gonna be like, oh, thank God it's not me. Oh my God, it's worse than I thought. Wait a minute. What if it's the same guy? No, that other cop looks a little bit older. The other cop's gonna be thrilled. Everyone involved in this is gonna lose their minds. Oh my God, that other cop's probably having quite a night. Holy shit. This is way more wild than I initially thought. And I got like 40 minutes to finish this. Oh my word. Yeah, people need to know about this. This is a big one. This is a very big, important one. It has a lot of consequences. Oh, those poor kids. Oh, this is gonna be hard. They probably don't even remember this. Oh, but they must know about the article. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is bad. Oh, on a scale of 1 to bad, this is very bad. Sorry, you're all commenting so much. I have to refresh the comments. Thank you so much to Travis and Miss FAFO for helping us reach our goal. Oh, this is bad. Oh, this is very sad. Oh, this is very bad. What's Allison gonna say? Alan Jackson's gonna lose his ever-loving mind. Oh, my word. Oh, he had Proctor dead to rights, and Proctor screwed him. We had a slight internet issue. We're back. I can't believe this. I cannot believe what I am seeing. I am shocked. You don't, the implications of this, it's even worse than what it looked like initially. Oh, we got to tell people about this. Listen, I don't think people are going to have picked up on this. Pick a handle. You've done it. You're going to be one of those people that I remember forever. Oh my word, you all were here for a big moment. I kind of heard some rumblings. I didn't really put it all together. I've now put it all together. Oh my word. Oh my word. I don't understand. I can't believe this. Remember when Josh Levy did the TV statement where he uncovered cops getting women to perform services instead of charges? Yes, and then they did it to a cop, did it to a guy, a state cop. And then they also busted those brothels in Cambridge and said the people who charged like were big names. Oh my word. I need to breathe for a second. I was not expecting this. Listen, I've seen some stuff while doing this. This one has blown my freaking mind. I don't even know what to say. I need an adult. Oh wait, I am an adult. Oh, this has major implications. This means a lot of stuff was not what it looked like. If that is indeed the Kevin Foley from Canton and not from Milton, then we have a major scandal on our hand. Because the Kevin Foley from Canton is directly connected to John O'Keefe's adopted thrice now orphan niece and nephew, and Kevin Albert, and this guy. Oh my God, you don't understand. Oh, I can't believe this. I can't believe what I have just seen. It is all connected. It's all connected, and Alan didn't even know. They kept it hidden from him. Listen. How did they not know? I'm speechless. This is the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. It's him, isn't it? Where's the picture? Which one's Kevin Foley? Oh, he's at the top. Yes. I know. Thank you. Oh my. That is the same guy. Oh my word. I'm having a bit of a towel moment, I must say. Yeah. Now we just got to confirm that was the Canton cop. Is that the guy that runs the CrossFit? Yeah, it is. Oh my God. That's it. Declaring a writ of shenanigans. We got like 35 minutes. I gotta cut this record. I can't even record it because it'll be too much to record while looking at this heavy duty. Like, these websites have a lot of like plugins. I'm gonna cut a report based on the start time, and then just after the stream ends, upload it. You're all getting this before anyone else. Tell your towel friends. If you just tuned in, you've come in for quite a moment. It's more, it wasn't just that Proctor was messaging a cop. That Milton cop's going to breathe a huge sigh of relief, the former Milton cop. Because it looks like it was him, potentially, because they're talking about Milton, but it wasn't. We have the guy, I think, who it really was. Can't confirm it. Got to actually find out. So I'm reporting it, as I did initially, as a potential. But this one looks like it could be huge. This is the beginning of the end, folks. You were here for it. Mark this date and time down. If you've been following the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case, you were here for this moment. This is going to be one of those moments. I can feel it. Just being a cop would have been bad enough if it were that former Milton cop. But, like, he was retired. It wasn't going to... It would have been a part of the story, but not a story, because he's a retired cop. What are they going to do? He's retired. But this is a way bigger deal. You must understand, if it is indeed this other Kevin Foley, oh my word, it links everything. Kevin Albert, Michael Proctor, the O'Keefes, John's adopted niece and nephew. Oh. Oh no. Oh, this is bad. This is very bad. This is very bad. This is very bad. People committed crimes. Oh God. Oh no. Yeah, we gotta tell some people. We gotta let people know this is really bad. I don't have... The implications are stunning. Oh my God. What, did they all perjure themselves? Oh God. Oh, those poor kids. They're gonna... Oh my God. Oh, dude. Oh my God. I'm speechless. I'm stunned. I can't believe what I have just seen. Oh my God. Oh my dear God. This can't be happening. This can't be happening. Oh my God. This is really bad. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. I don't have any words for this. I'm sorry. I can't believe this. This is... Oh... It should be impossible. I've covered this case for 3 years. It should be impossible. I'm shocked. I've never... It's broke me. This is it. This is what broke me. I can't comprehend the scope of the fallout from this. Oh my dear God. That's incredibly sad. That's overwhelmingly sad. Oh, what have they done? His fucking group chat. No wonder they called Proctor. Oh, I'm so mad. I'm gonna keep it together, but I am so mad. I get mad about some things ideologically. This one has struck me to my core. They... This is not okay. You nailed them. Pick a handle. You be safe, my friend. You keep my email. It's grantsmithellis@gmail.com. All right. This can't be happening. What the fuck, man? It's one of the worst feelings I've ever experienced in my life. And I have to cut a fucking report on it. I feel like someone has like cut me in half and just ripped out a very large piece of me, and I now need to rebuild that piece of myself. I'm ready. I needed a break. I mean, I'm sure those of you who saw me put it together understood. Those of you who came in late probably need a little bit of a refresher. But this is probably one of the most... I've done a lot of research on this stream. Epstein files, case documents, you name it. This was just supposed to be... I say. It was supposed to be reading the expanded Proctorgate files. This has turned into... Listen. I'm ready to do this. I'm gonna cut the report. I can do this. I'm gonna start it at like 8:37 or so, a little after. Gotta leave a little pause, and then I gotta cut it and upload it. The world must know. Karen needs to know. Aiden was right in ways he didn't even understand. I mean, he was so right. People gotta tell him. And then, on top of that, good thing Karen was acquitted, because she would have been released from jail immediately. Let me tell you that right now. Nothing can stop the towel. Hello, I'm back. That was a good pause before I cut my report. I had to reset the frame buffer. I had a little frame drop. Let's do it. Poor Joe. Oh, John. Damn it. No one ever would have put this together. Poor Johnny. Dude. I'm not going to say anything right now. Because before I cut this report, if I say what I feel, I'm going to say something, even though it's appropriate, I'm going to say something I regret, diplomatically, so I'm not going to do it. But I have some fucking things to say right now. Johnny didn't live in Canton in 2014. You realize the implications of they watched him the whole fucking time. Fuck. Oh, this is brutal. This is a lot. They lied. They lied. This is a really dark feeling. Damn, this is it, huh? Oh, they're freaking out. This is it. I knew it. I can do this. I'm ready. Okay, I understand. I can do this. Okay, we're gonna... Don't misclutch. We're gonna start this at about 8:42. 8:41. Good evening. My name is Grant Smith Ellis with Towel News, youtube.com/Grant Smith Ellis. I've been covering the Karen Reed and John O'Keefe case on all sides, truly, for 3 years. And in the latest filing with information from Michael Proctor's cell phone, which has already caused Proctorgate, I can reveal to you it may well be the case pending confirmation that one of the individuals in a shocking series of group chat messages with Michael Proctor was a man by the name of Kevin Foley. It is very possible that Kevin Foley used to be a Canton police officer, but was arrested, although not convicted. Solicitation of prostitution in around 2013, the man in the middle. Why is this shocking? Well, because as you read another article from the 11th of February 2014 in the Journal Sun by Alana Santos, entitled Canton Community Again Organizes Event for Children Who Lost Parents. You will find that this article, which you have to be a subscriber to read, but which you can read if you go to the link for the first, has for John O'Keefe's niece alongside Kevin Albert. CrossFit fundraiser that Kevin Albert hosted at a CrossFit gym run by Larry Kennedy, Kevin Foley, correction. Kevin Foley is the man in this picture, and also the man who you will find in this article was responsible. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna start this again. I'm just gonna subscribe to this because it's worth it. I'm just gonna pay the $1 because I need the full article. I don't love it, alright, but I'm gonna do it. Give me 1 second. I need the full article from Wicked Local, so I have to subscribe. Give me 1 second. It's $9.99 a month after the first month. I don't love it, but I need the article. I gotta recut the report. I like to first take it, but it screwed me there by locking me out. And I could read it another way, but I'd rather just pay. So let me just get it set up. I know. Silent Dog, $1 for local journalism. I mean, it's not the worst thing in the world. It is a corporation. I think it's Gannett. But I'm not going to be upset over $1. So I just have to pay them $1. Give me 1 second. I really can't complain for $1 too. So I just have to pay. It's a very slow system they have. I know a lot of you want to see this report. And I'm cutting it, and then I have to write it up. And then I'm on a deadline because I want to go watch the World Cup. Alright, all set. I'm unlocking this other article for us. Hi, Amber. You came in at quite a good time. It's maybe good that I composed myself a little bit. Okay, it's going through. Done. All right, all set. Now, can I have the thing, please? There we go. Hey, look at that. Now I have the whole article. Isn't that great? Well, Silent Dog, I think the first thing is to let people know. Okay, very good. All right. Oh, God bless those kids. All right, I'm ready to do it. Let me pause. Oh, let me get myself settled. I'm ready. It's bothering me. Let me try to bump that channel. I know. This is just, you can tell by the intensity of how I'm reacting that this is very big. It's a big deal. Oh, somebody sent a donation. Oh, you are very kind. God bless you. Oh, you 2 donations at once. You're both so wonderful. All right, I'm ready. I reset that. Let me see if this is better now. That's what's bothering it. One sec. These websites are sometimes not the best. I already am a subscriber, thank you. Oh, you want me to sign in? Fine. 1 second, I have to sign in. Who knew it's not as easy as it looked? You're about to watch me cut an all-time report. I just have to get 2 articles ready, one of which I had to pay $1 for. But it was worth it. Signing in. Give me 1 second. I wish it'd set your cookie after you paid, but it doesn't. It's a little rudimentary for a USA Today publication. Okay, I'm in. Hey, look at me, paying for news. Alright, let's do it. Who knew? Alana Santos, changing the world. I'm ready. Alright, stop loading that, please. I think we're good here. Alright, I'm ready. It's about 8:50. Here we go. Good evening. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. I'm Towel News, youtube.com/@GrantSmithEllis. I've been covering the John O'Keefe and Karen Reed case over the past few years, and I'm about to show you a series of connections that have blown even this jaded reporter's mind to the point of near speechlessness. In a shocking bombshell released today, related to Michael Proctor, the former state trooper who was involved in a number of investigations, including the Karen Reed case, the Aidan Carney case, and others. Michael Proctor has been the subject of Proctorgate. Proctorgate is a series of messages that have been released, starting with a civil filing by Karen Reed in Bristol County last week. It is June 12th today, 2026. So that was last week, around June 7th or earlier. In those filings, a number of horrific text messages from Michael Proctor were revealed. And it was hinted or revealed that Proctor was part of a group chat. In a new filing today by lawyer Rosemary Scapicchio that is newly unsealed by Judge Doolin, it is revealed, among other horrifying messages Proctor sent, that Proctor was in a group chat with people, multiple people. Some used nicknames. One used their real name. One of those men was named Kevin Foley. Kevin Foley is an interesting name because although Kevin Foley mentions Milton in this document, it is very possible that Kevin Foley is in actuality this man. Who was a former arrested as part of a prostitution sting. Okay. In 2013. Well, in 2014, Kevin Albert, a name that might ring familiar with you all, Kevin Albert, ladies and gentlemen, hosted a fundraiser at a CrossFit gym for 2 children who were recently orphaned. Those 2 children would go on to be adopted by John O'Keefe, their uncle, who would move down to Canton and raise them until his tragic death on Brian Albert's lawn, 34 Fairview Road, on January 29th, 2022, sometime in the early morning. And let me ask you, where do you think Kevin Albert hosted this fundraiser? Why, none other than the CrossFit run by Kevin Foley. ladies and gentlemen, I present to you a direct link, it appears, between Kevin Albert, Kevin Foley, Michael Proctor, and John O'Keefe's now thrice, at the time twice, orphaned niece and nephew. A connection that was never disclosed at any point during any trial, despite direct questioning about the relationship between the Albert and Proctor families. Brian Albert and Kevin Albert are, of course, related. Brian Albert, the former Boston police officer, whose home, the lawn of whose home John was found, upon which John was found, dead. Kevin Albert on the Canton Police Department. Michael Proctor friends with Kevin Foley and texting horrific racist messages, apparently with this person who may very well be the same Kevin Foley that, dating back to 2014 after a prostitution arrest a year earlier, was hosting a charitable event for John O'Keefe's niece and nephew with Kevin Albert. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. Pending final confirmation of this information, among a number of other things, this may be, hands down, one of the largest smoking guns that there was something very wrong with the way John O'Keefe's death was responded to by people who had very deep conflicts of interest that went very far back and that no one knew about, frankly, until this moment. Yes, folks, the people who have reported on this case were more right in ways than they could have known. Yes, Aiden Turtleboy Carney was right. Indeed, more so than perhaps even he realized. Yes, Karen was right, but it was bigger than perhaps even she realized. Yes, it was all hiding in plain sight. Yes, it could be as simple as that direct of a connection, but there's something more. This pernicious unit of the state police, Brian Tully, the detective lieutenant, John Fanning, the first officer, Yuri Buchanan, the sergeant, all involved in a number of different investigations that are seriously concerning, and furthermore, all potentially were aware of not only Michael Proctor's messages and views about a number of different racial groups that were abhorrent, and genders, and other various classifications of people that he seemed to all dislike. But it is now seeming to be very clear that Michael Proctor, if this Kevin Foley is the same one that was involved with that fundraiser in 2014, 1 year after a prostitution arrest and after leaving the Canton PD, involved with a fundraiser for John O'Keefe's niece and nephew, then you are staring in the face of a smoking gun. Proctorgate has just gone from explosive to atomic. The fallout from this could be apoplectic. The number of questions that were asked under oath of witnesses in a murder trial about these very connections. The integrity of our system of justice itself could hinge very well on the Pandora's box opened by this very series of connections based on the filing from Rosemary Scapiccio in the Miles King case that revealed Michael Proctor's group chats and the identity of his friends, in turn linking Proctor through Kevin Foley, through Kevin Albert, to John O'Keefe's niece and nephew in 2014. And my name is Grant Smith Ellis, to repeat. And through the intensity of that all, I cannot even begin to process the implications. What started as a horrifying series of messages, horrifying, truly, has evolved into potentially the tip of a much wider iceberg. And the layers of this connection go so deep that it is fitting that the Morrissey machine, the Norfolk DA Michael Morrissey, sees its final collapse upon the sword of Damocles that hung so precariously upon its head. Because when a house of cards is thin as gruel and built on a foundation of same, it becomes a mere Dickensian drama that falters with the slightest wind, or in this case, a simple brush of a towel's gentle fabric. My name is Grant Smith Ellis. I'm going to go watch the World Cup now. God bless the United States of America. God bless you all. This is not the end of the puzzle, but it may well be the beginning of the end. Where it goes from here, who knows? These messages are disgusting. These messages are abhorrent, and somehow Proctorgate has expanded even further and now landed directly in the lap of our system of justice. What will the feds do? How long have they known? Were they setting these people up, the feds, in order to move in and get them eventually? It's certainly looking more and more like it. Who ran interference for these people? Who was behind the online operations protecting these people? Do the feds have questions about that? Were the feds sitting and waiting this entire time, fully aware that all of this existed? I don't know. But those are good questions to ask. I'm a mere humble towel, though. And as we reach 9 p.m., thank you all for watching today. If you'd like to support my work, I have a Cash App, # Grant Smith Ellis. I have a Venmo at GrantE1, at Grant-E1. And I have a PayPal, paypal.me/Grant Ellis. Someone will inevitably do exclamation point donate in the chat. It'll give you those links. Thank you to everyone who has supported me today. I try to create a public information service so that regardless of your access to resources, you are able to be educated, informed, and entertained. 20% entertainment, 40% education, 40% information. And in turn, enabling you to ward off the usurpation of our representative or otherwise forms of government worldwide. I love my country very much. I love you all very dearly. I'm sorry I can't stay longer. We got to go watch the World Cup. Thank you for being you. Thank you for being with me today. We'll do Tippecanoe and Tyler too. We got to do it quickly though. We do the presidents in order to check my mental acuity before I go. President Washington, President Adams, President Jefferson, President Madison, President Monroe, President Adams Jr., President Jackson, President Van Buren. Skip 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 is Fillmore, then Tippecanoe and Tyler too. So you got Polk, Taylor, Pierce, Buchanan, Lincoln, Johnson, Grant, Rutherford B. Hayes, Garfield, Chester A. Arthur, Cleveland, Harrison, Cleveland, McKinley, Teddy Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson, Harding, Coolidge, Hoover, FDR, Truman, Eisenhower, Kennedy, Johnson, Nixon, Ford, Carter, Reagan, Bush 1, Clinton, Bush 2, Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. Thank you all so much. Clamasues, it's so good to see you. You can have a towel wrench, and you already have a membership, which means you can use towel emojis. This has been quite a day. You all have seen the developments. I'm sorry I couldn't respond or see all your comments. Hey, Laura, it's so good to see you. You were certainly here for a good moment. And I'm sorry, I'm so glad I got to give Clamasues her wrench. I also saw a super chat come in there. Oh, wait a minute. Clamasues, thank you so much for becoming a member. Oh, that's epic. I'm so glad I got to be here for that moment. So I'm going to include this in my outro. But I think we all want to go watch the national team, which I would like to do, because I love America. Oh, standing chat mom Lynn, that was you. In case you forgot to cancel, I forgot to set a new goal, but that's all right, folks. I want to go watch the World Cup, as it were. So thank you for supporting Towel. Thank you for being you. Thank you very much for joining me today. If you want to pay it forward, though, the best way you can really do so is I recommend donating to our service members or our homeless vets or their families. There shouldn't be a single veteran homeless in the United States of America against their will, or we failed as a society. Consider donating them today. Now, my friend Francine was here, so I would be remiss if I didn't break out Pete Bunny Towel. He's the channel mascot. If you'd like to donate to animal shelters run by veterans or that help our veterans or service members, please do. Please also consider a donation to animal shelters in general. They need our help. They're our fur friends. You may also consider a donation to The Big Issue if you're in the UK, or animal shelters in general, by the way, or whether they're run by veterans or not. If you're in the UK, The Big Issue is a great way to donate to help populations experiencing homelessness. But it doesn't have to be a donation. It could be something as simple as smiling at someone on the street, reaching out to a friend or family member you haven't heard from in a while, or yes, ladies and gentlemen, even giving away 200 tomato plants like Francis Futrell did one time, and then having them designated honorary towels during the outro forevermore. In that way, may we live up to our Italia Eudaimonia, or Summum Bonum, by changing the current realpolitik from one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our power to instead one centered on preserving, expanding, and demonstrating our capacity to engage in small acts of service and kindness rooted in unconditional love, thus living up to our Italia Eudaimonia, or Summum Bonum, our greatest good in the ancient Greek or Latin respectively, therein bringing about a new digital epic defined by Aquarius, the water bearer, standing tall and carrying a towel. Hey, I believe it's possible because of you all. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for being you. Thank you for welcoming me into your home or wherever you watch tonight. God bless you all. God bless the United States. Let's go, America. We got this tonight. I think we're going to win 2-1. Again, my name is Grant Smith Ellis. Thank you for supporting and watching Towel News. Until we see each other again, that was quite a night, quite a whirlwind. I got to go write that story up now and watch a football match, or a soccer match, as we may call it. Thank you all again. God bless you. Good night, and God bless.